Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are your alternative commentary to all the wrestling, and we got AEW Collision on tap tonight. It's going to be a fun one. The IWC has lost its mind, and we're going to talk all about its rocky times in the wrestling world, if you will. But there's so much to get into, so much to just unpackage here. But make sure you hit like, subscribe, be a part of the channel, be a part of the fun, and strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good. Let's go! Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream, and we got AEW Collision, a night full of intrigue, depending on who you ask. But lots to get into, and I have a feeling we're going to talk about a whole lot of other stuff before we get to Collision and, probably during Collision tonight. I welcome everyone back to a sensational Saturday stream. I hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe. You're enjoying your weekend. And thank you for spending part of it with us here at the channel. We are looking forward to getting into all the excitement. And again, we got lots to talk about. I will quickly remind you, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight KJ White. I'm Big Nick. And so, what do you guys want to talk about?
There's only one thing to talk about if you look at the internet. The world is ablaze, of course, coming off the heels of some groundbreaking decision-making last night. Some people love it. Most people seem to hate it. But the IWC is upset. And, man, I don't know, but if you were, spoiler alert for anyone out there who didn't watch SmackDown, The Rock will face Roman at WrestleMania 40, and people are unhappy about this decision, Mr. Nick.
As you literally just read that back, even though I watched it earlier, we were here live for it and everything. I still got goosebumps just hearing it out loud and everything. I had trouble sleeping last night. I've been electrified by the most electrifying man in sports entertainment here. I know nobody is happy about this at all, which real quick, Randolph saying, hey guys, what's up? I'm an over-the-road trucker. Well, I feel like most truckers go over the road. I don't know too many truckers that go under the road. But
as the son of a trucker, welcome, Randolph.
Well, I guess he's more American Dream than you are.
Right? I can't watch the
wrestling shows. Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Very often. So it's good to have a stream like you guys. Love your channel. Appreciate it, my guy.
We love that. Appreciate it, man. As you're driving along. Where are we heading tonight? Let's go.
All right. Do we do the every time we do that, you got to drop like a horn sound in the chat here.
Roll in.
And then first name John. Yeah, this man shared the clip with me that I shared everywhere because that's the IWC right now.
It's funny because
I'm gonna tweet.
I put that same clip out yet last night after our stream. So then I saw it going around today, and I'm like, what are the odds? This is
well, there was someone who even shared my tweet there. We're talking about it with Triple H of like a couple of days even before that of this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I haven't seen something. I mean, we saw the brawl out. It caused a lot of buzz and a lot of, fan reaction online. We've seen a lot of things happen. I find the wrestling world so interesting. And listen, fickle. I last night defended the decision. I understood what they did. I understood why they did it. And I think before we get into the nitty gritty of how we all feel about this, and I know we'll get some more chat messages as it's blowing up, I want to make sure people understand. And the Meltzers of the world, I know we bag on Meltzer all the time, but with justice, with proper.
It's a warranted ass whooping.
Yeah, he deserves all the shit that we feed him. Again, if you watch all the reports come out from across, the TMZ's got this, CNBC's got this, Sports Center's covering this. Like, it transcends wrestling. Meltzer is just on his own planet and on a complete wish hunt. He, such a biased bullshit angle every single time. So guys like that are part of why people feel so insulted, offended, bothered by what has happened. I truly said it last night, Nick, and I stand by this. You might not like the match. You might not like Cody getting bumped, but this was not done malice. There's no infighting. This isn't Rock trying to take over Triple H's job. This isn't The Rock trying to be like, haha, I'm still the guy. The Rock has bigger and better things to do. This was a reaction to CM Punk going down, to Brock Lesnar getting pulled. What they felt was the necessary choice under the circumstances. However, they may have been wrong.
Nah, in case of emergency, break under glass here. That's what this was. This was the escape hatch here. And real quick, as Baby Man Gaming, appreciates you for becoming a member and then also gifting 5 members still. Absolutely.
That's amazing. Thank you.
All right. And then
be a member, tell a member.
Absolutely. Just don't tell members about your member. As Scott, shout out homie. Thank you for the super chat. Cody needs to finish the story. Bad book. This is Brian Danielson, 2014. The Rock is selfish, in my opinion. Cody looks stupid after this.
I don't think Cody looks stupid. Actually, they've created the biggest baby face that we've had in 20 years in wrestling, or maybe since Brian, maybe not 20 years, but since 2014, we'll say. When was the last time like people who hated Cody 2 months ago, who thought he was boring and bland and hated his promos, hated his, like our buddy in the digital car, oh, I hate this storyline. Why is Cody fighting Brock? All of a sudden now it's, how could they do this to Cody? Now the sentiment of, well, he should have never left AEW, give your head a shake. That's silly. But dude, I mean, I don't think this was out of selfishness.
Not at all. Like you've already said, there was things that happened in place. That's why we had the awkward moment. Now looking back on it, of Cody pointed at Roman and saying, I want you to face The Rock at WrestleMania.
Right.
Because Punk got injured. Obviously, the Vince news very much is kind of the causation for this. Brock's out, everything. But yeah, no, that it's fitting that whole clip has gone around about, we're going to go and tweet about it. I might make an Instagram, maybe a Vine. And you know what? If anything, me and my buddy Mark won't watch anymore. That's not going to happen. These are the same people that were excited for. And it was fitting that's when Daniel Bryan became the biggest babyface. That's got the same reaction here with Cody. When you've now got, these are the same people that wanted Rock versus Roman at 39. Now all of a sudden didn't want it. These are the same people, like you brought up, that thought Cody and Roman was predictable and were sick of Cody even trying to finish his story and everything.
I love it.
But now all of a sudden Cody's Jesus H. Rhodes right now, I feel.
No, dude, here's the thing. Again, if you want to tell me that you're sick of Roman Reigns as champion, I'll accept that. If you want to tell me that you have no interest in Roman versus Rock, I can accept that. What I can't really deal with is all the side shuffle of, and again, hashtag, we want Cody, #1 trending, in America. People are behind this. And you know what? As the day went on today, I was starting to think like, shit, do they have to pivot? Do they have to look at this and go, now we got White Lightning. We got to capture this and maybe run with it. Like this is, again, now the idea of shifting, getting Cody back into that match and winning. You might have your biggest baby face explosion since Hulkamania.
Well, Cody did never say who he was going to face at WrestleMania. Everybody kind of just went with it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for come Monday night and Cody comes out, and the fact that Dwayne's in the main event and not me, this isn't sour grapes.
Yeah. Plus, apparently, Rhodes is scheduled to be on SmackDown next Friday. He's also, they're having a big press conference in Vegas on Thursday at 4 p.m. where apparently the matches, like the Roman Rock match, will become official. And I mean, what blew my mind, like little things have blown my mind, like 300,000 dislikes on the clip on WWE. Like,
Yeah,
what? Right?
the most
Um,
disliked video in WWE history.
which is
And I mean,
insane.
on one hand, it would be returning to the scene of the crime because this would be in Philadelphia to where Rock raised Roman's hand at the Rumble and everybody's booed. And there's the famous picture of the Rock confused as to why people are booing.
Yeah.
So do you get a Brock or a Brock Goldberg WrestleMania 20 kind of response
Do they
with this? Of
hijack?
everybody just boos and just hijacks it.
But I don't know because again, the fans in the building last night weren't booing. The fans in the that were live last night were all for it, standing on
Well,
their feet. I've even watched video of after the show, and they're all standing on their feet cheering for The Rock. Like the crowd in the house were pretty good with it.
that's the interesting thing of this is because, like, we quote MJF all the time of the IWC, the Twitterverse is only 7%. I think somebody in the chat said earlier the IWC is really like 10% of wrestling fan base. Granted, they're a vocal minority. Depends on if you want to, open your window to hear the shit coming out, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, they're seems to be very much. I mean, we're both for this match. To me, this is your biggest blockbuster main event you could do. Like, we were getting off stream and ESPN's covering it. Like you said, every major media outlet is covering this because this is literally Hollywood blockbuster. Like I said last night on stream, this is Michael Jordan coming out to challenge LeBron James one-on-one to see who's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, I was like, we've been doing this for 2 years. This channel's just under 2 years old, and we've heard for months and months and months. When is The Rock and Roman gonna happen? When is The Rock and Roman gonna be a thing? When is it gonna happen? And they're like, ta-da! And everyone's like, fuck no! What are we doing?
I didn't want pizza now. I wanted pizza yesterday. That type of thing. Like, I remember going into WrestleMania 39 disappointed. We were getting Cody versus Roman, especially in Hollywood. I was still holding out hope of maybe they could slide The Rock in here if he just pops out of nowhere and sorry, Cody, about your damn luck. And now that they're doing the big mega match, like we've said, it's on that WrestleMania 17-18 par. This is Hogan Rock, just 2.0.
Yeah, and I think for those who are conspiring or are subject to conspiracy theory, you got to understand. Monday they laid the groundwork with Seth and Cody. They planted those seeds of why Cody.
What did you nail that, by the way?
Yeah, like again, just one of those dumb luck things. I'm just talking out my ass, and it worked out. And then, in addition to that, they thought, and they had a meeting, and they said, "Okay, listen, we're in a bit of a pickle. Punk blew his arm. Seth's on one leg. Brock is MIA for obvious reasons. We need to do something here. This is like WrestleMania XL. We can't throw a softball. We got to do something big. However, people are going to be mad. So Cody, you're going to open that door. You're going to roll out the red carpet for The Rock, so people think you're okay with it, so they won't be mad at us for doing it." Fans did not pick up on that at all. They did not give a shit at all. They were just like, Cody's screwed. He's heartbroken. The videos, the tears, like,
yeah, literally. I loved everybody sharing the whole Simpsons thing of you can literally freeze frame to where the exact moment of Cody's heart broke. But I do have Collision kicking off as well.
Let me see.
So we're starting off. I'm mad. We're starting off. We're in Edinburgh, Texas. We're starting off with Brian Keys already in the ring. We don't get no Swisher House. Tony can't front the
Boo
bill for
Earns.
Slim Thug.
Boo Earns.
But so I got Eddie coming out.
Folks, we will say hi to the chat in a moment. I realize, Nick and I had a lot to get into and unpack here. But again, and my question that nobody has suggested is, if you look at what they did and why they did it and why I theorize they did it, if it's Cody versus Rock, then what do you do with Seth? that garners clicks, that matters, that people care about to the level of Seth and Cody? What is the replacement match? Nobody has an answer. Drew is the front runner, but Drew's been lukewarm for a while.
He's starting to simmer saute here right now because he's even trolling Cody there with you.
Did you see this, man? I'm actually becoming a bigger fan of Drew.
Cold killer right now. Man knows social media way better. I didn't know they had this social media game in Scotland. I'm sorry, sir. I was not familiar with your game.
Right? He's got, again, I'll figure this out. But right now I got Eddie Kingston in the ring with the bounty hunter. We will take your predictions on this. Who you taking and why is it Eddie Kingston?
This though is the match that I really wanted to watch when it came to Collision here because I'm a big fan of both men. I'm just waiting for we get the Brian Keith is all elite graphic and everything.
Yeah, rumor was he signed, but we're not sure, and I don't know. It's weird. Rocco Bonkers, Baby Man Gaming. See Money, I see you. Robert Cortez, thrilled for some AEW tonight. I think I said Bonkers. Damien, as always, first name John. Steve Chambers is with us. FSU Dre, welcome. Trey as well. Trey, another Trey. Scott, my buddy, good to see you.
Start saying random names. They'll probably start to fit.
They'll be probably right here. Matthew, Philip, Paul.
I see you, Jackson and Steven and Christopher and Joseph. Yes.
Randolph, Lady B's back with us. Christian's in the house. Good to see you. Another Christopher. Lots of Christopher's. Chambers, AJ, TJ, Swim Swami, Swanson.
I like this though, real quick, from JO Wrestling. Like Nick said, imagine social media when Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO. Any moment like that would just be insane. And now that's really what this is. It's so much the Daniel Bryan moment. So, like you said, do they shoehorn Cody back into this? Of we get a triple threat, or I've seen people pitch swerves of we get Cody versus Roman at Chamber, and then Cody wins, and then we don't have Roman versus Rock for the title, and everyone's just trying to find a way of no, give me what I want, give Cody with the belt.
Right? Do you know if you want Cody to be like the biggest superstar ever? Next Friday, The Rock's in the ring, and Cody comes running out and decks him with a chair and says, "I changed my mind, bitch."
Well, how fitting is it that the meme they're going around with Cody going, "So what do you guys want to shut up, bitch?" That's just came to life now.
And this match hard hitting to begin. We got lots going on here tonight, by the way. Aminata against Serena Deeb. Danielson's taking on Huchichero. Swerve's going to be here apparently.
I think C Money was calling him Horchata.
The Rock is now pushing to beat Roman. Yeah, I don't believe the hype. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of the bullshit. Like these people that are reporting like they're in these meetings or in this. Oh yeah, The Rock just decided to be a big prick and thought, how can I fuck over Cody Rhodes today? Like, why? And everyone said, "Oh, it's The Rock's ego." The dude's one of the biggest drawing movie stars in history. The dude's on the board. How much ego do you think he needs? Like, if you truly think that this was an ego move, I'm sorry, I can't go with you.
And this was, like we've said, this was a match people wanted just last year, and now all of a sudden, now we're getting it because it's such a dream match, and everyone's, boo, no, we wanted this guy.
Do you remember when Cody won last year and everyone was like, fucking bullshit. He hurt his pec, and then they just hand him the Rumble. Oh, this sucks. It's going to suck. Who cares? Then he lost, and everyone was like, I can't believe he lost. And then we got over it. And like,
people didn't want Cody winning this Rumble. And now that he did, and he's not facing Roman, everybody's what the fuck?
Well, we're all the people that had The Rock winning the Rumble. Oh, I think The Rock's going to win the Rumble and go to Mania. Okay. Now, for the people out there that I've seen a lot, especially on TikTok, shout out to the TikTok fam if you're around. I saw a lot of people of, what was the point of Cody winning the Rumble? Well, Punk was healthy when, or at least they thought he was when that went down. Like, let's be real. And for those who think that they pulled the audible during the match, we asked about it. But keep in mind, they had Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble t-shirts ready to go. This isn't the Buffalo Bills. Like, we're not sending the Super Bowl champion t-shirts to third world countries, right? Like,
everyone's got Cody versus Roman WrestleMania shirts.
CM Punk wins Rumble 2024.
Right, it's just Punk pointing at the Mania sign.
Come on now.
But yeah, no. This was 100% an audible. And speaking of the Buffalo Bills and the Super Bowl, I feel like this is a little bit of that Kansas City play to where they were just throwing it out there, and Kelsey back threw it to Tony for a touchdown that got called off, and now everyone's just waiting for this play to get called off here.
Yeah, and truthfully, I think the WWE was like, okay, this plan's going to work. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sell it on Monday. Cody's going to do it on Friday. Put Rock over, because Cody had to put Rock over so people didn't feel like Cody got fucked, and they were like, okay, this is going to work. And it didn't. It didn't. Like, I'm sorry, it did not work. It has not gone to plan.
No.
Oh,
as Westview Mountain said, sorry, I've got Eddie getting back. As I do also have MLW Super Fight as well. But,
okay.
Westview Mountain saying it isn't an ego move, but it's an abandonment of the longest running story that fans are the most invested in.
Not true.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question for everybody. We got 80 people-ish watching. I got my best friend here with me. Here's a question for everybody. Did Cody die? Is Cody still a wrestler? Did he retire last night?
I mean, I don't know. He'll be like I said, he's Jesus H. Rhodes. So give it till Monday and he will rise again.
He is still, they didn't abandon the story. They prolonged the story. They took a caveat, a turn. Like,
we were in inning 3. Now we're just in inning 4.
Right. And I get it. Listen, I've been on this channel going like, have we had enough of Roman yet? But let's say, dude, imagine the plan was, you know what? Cody's going to lose at Mania again. We don't know that wasn't the plan.
Right.
I know the fans are thinking like it was his time. But imagine the plan from day one with this is Roman is going to beat Hogan's record. So, yeah, if we book Cody, he loses again. Fuck him. We'll move on, and he'll keep chasing his story. There were wrestlers back in the day that were trying to write their story for years. Now nobody has any patience for that.
Yeah, I want to still. Sean Stasiak never finished the story, and I want to know what was going to happen with Planet Stasiak. But I will remind everybody to shout out Trey, Jobson, Boston, everybody that we still haven't even clicked on. But especially on a night like tonight, drop a super chat, drop a super sticker.
Yeah.
Be a member. It helps support us, and it helps get your comment read because we got plenty of things to talk about.
And this match is rolling. I mean, a bit of a kind of the pace we imagined with Eddie and Bounty Hunter. A lot of punching, a lot of chops, a lot of stomps.
I love somebody said AEW presents Power Slap because they're just slapping the shit out of each other.
Right. Hello. The button isn't going to like itself. Let's fucking go. That's one of my favorite comments. I love that.
Right. That's why you got to start.
This button isn't going to like itself.
What? What you trying to say?
I love it.
But
let's go AEW.
Does it still? You do have to acknowledge fully that there's a lot of this that Cody very much looks like he's just got egg on his fucking face here. Like yes. I get it's inaudible, but boy howdy, if you don't look sadder than a puppy dog right now, Cody.
Mm-hmm. He did look kind of miserable, but they also had that moment where Cody stopped and looked back, and Rock had his back to Roman and was like looking at Cody like, it's okay. It's okay. And I think that's what he said to him. I know this really fucking sucks.
It's okay. The grown people have it right now.
Right. It was the speech that Triple H gave, the speech that Vince gave Triple H when he let Austin win the King of the Ring of like, it might suck right now, but don't worry, you'll get yours.
I'm going to just say first name John, I see your comment, and maybe he could qualify for that award, but I'm not going to read it out loud.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
He did look dejected. I can't deny that. He did look like, man, this is some bullshit.
he was Ralph Wiggum getting rejected by Lisa Simpson. You could sit there and freeze frame it to the moment his heart broke. Like when he's sitting there hugging Dwayne, there's just CM Punk quotes in his ear right there of,
Yeah.
and someone's going to come out that had a part-timer and just take your moment.
Yeah. Well, see, MDB said the plan worked for him. And I did see other people that do what we do and other podcasters and such think like, all right, good job. Like, all right, we wanted this, we got it. It wasn't how we wanted it, but now, and I did see other people say, like, we're not giving it any time to play out. What if Cody beats Seth? What if Roman fights Cody at SummerSlam? What if it is at MSG? Like he hinted? Yeah. What if that's the case? Are you going to then abandon Cody, who's like, I'm about to finish my story in MSG? And they're like, yeah, but it wasn't WrestleMania.
Right. If you unify the titles,
which I think is bold.
Well, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. But still, 100%, if you're going to be like, imagine if Cody goes to face Seth at WrestleMania and doesn't win, or if he wins and then Damian Priest comes out and cashes in. You thought people were mad before. Now you're about to be big mad. But
that's what I mean, again. And I think if you're WWE creative, if you're Triple H, you have a couple ways to go with this. You can dig your heels in, or you can kind of go like full. Yeah, Cody beats Seth and Damian cashes in on Cody. People lose their mind even more. But how much heat then would Damian have of like the most hated man in wrestling?
Yeah, it becomes how much can you turn the dial up before it breaks? Because still, if you did unify the belts, or even a match between Roman Reigns, especially coming off of beating The Rock, versus Cody Rhodes in MSG, and you make it a big event. Because when's the last time, realistically, we saw WWE do a big event from MSG, especially live?
It's usually a house show, like a supercharged house show.
Right. You do that in MSG and Cody wins? My God.
Yeah.
He'll be out there shaking babies and kissing hands.
See, there's a part of me that feels like in any good movie, like, you watch the Avengers or some shit like that, and the heroes, like in the third act, are down and out. The bad guys winning. Like, it's like people got mad and left the theater of like, oh, fuck, this is never going to work out. And they leave, but they haven't got to that fourth act of the redemption, right?
They just watched Infinity Wars. They haven't watched Endgame yet.
Right? They're like, oh, this is bullshit. So I don't know. Like, I mean, again, I didn't hate it as much as I'm witnessing the hate online. But when I seen wow.
It's been a hell of a match. It's just unfortunate that there's better wrestling to talk about. Sorry.
And like I said, even on this channel, I mean, I said it last night with the one thing, no matter whether you love it or hate it, it's going to be the most viewed, the most clicked on, the most talked about thing maybe in wrestling history. And it's proving to be that.
I sat there and instantly, when I saw that, I put out there, I was like, this will be a where were you moment, because love it or hate it, it's the most talked about fucking moment in at least probably the last couple of years, I'd say.
But no, you're not wrong. And this is the one matchup that is a bust to my argument of who would you have done instead? Gunther, Seth, night one works for me. Roman, Cody, night two. I could live with that, especially if Gunther is like still the IC champion and he becomes a 2-belt Gunthy.
But you gotta let the Roman Rock storyline cook, because there's still a large contingent that wants this match, that wanted this match, and now you can do full bore production with it. You can make it the biggest cinematic thing you ever wanted to. Yeah, it's gonna be up there with your Rock Cena's, your Rock Hogan's, all that. Ooh,
selling the chops. So then he ate about 12 more and then get no sold and kicked him in the head.
Step up
Sell
Enziguri.
something!
Well, Eddie's selling right now.
Not really. He's okay.
He never went down to his feet, but yeah, now he's not selling. God damn it.
But a good battle, a good battle. I just want them to sell a little more. You know, like be a little, like look like you're getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah. It's the suspension of disbelief. But yeah, what with this whole Roman Rock thing, and everybody's losing their goddamn mind. And oh, to hell with WWE. No, give Cody a chance. Praise, T's and P's for Cody here, all of this.
Yeah.
I keep that same energy then when WrestleMania 40 is happening and everybody's losing their goddamn mind about, you know, Rock and Roman main eventing and all of that. Keep that same energy then. I don't want to see you out there cheering and having a great time. No, keep that same energy because you didn't want this before. So you can't be happy now.
Yeah. Not ruling out a scenario. Now, a lot of people have said, well, maybe Cody will win a chamber. That doesn't feel good.
No.
I don't know how I feel about that, but Eddie picks up the win. 1, 2, 3. Eddie Kingston is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and he is, someone asked, he is still 3-belt Eddie.
Triple Crown Eddie.
Triple Crown Eddie. Triple Burger Eddie.
Well, no, he's a workhorse. And do workhorses walk like this?
And I saw somebody, I think it was JV, might have said in the chat of like, the bloodline's boring, Roman's boring, da-da-da-da-da. Look, the bloodline might not have the same snap that it had at times. Like the Sammy storyline was outstanding. The KO rivalry was really good. But then you see, I watched back that promo last night from Roman. Must have been 5 times today. And I watched a lot of it where like other podcasters were talking over it. Man, he cooked. Like I said to you last night, Roman dropped a battle rap on Seth. Like, he murdered that kid.
You can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at is literally what Roman said.
Yeah. Tony's in the ring. Both men are still like catching their breath.
Why are we going to interview Eddie right now when he's probably blown the fuck up? Respectfully, I love Eddie.
Blown the fuck up.
Like, I'm sorry, even if I did some shit like that, don't interview me after this podcast. I'll be blown the fuck up too.
And he says, "Go talk to him," because he is.
Right, like that's part of why I love Eddie. He's the Derek Lewis of pro wrestling.
He really is.
So, Derek,
my
what's your opinions on the fight? My balls are hot. Where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass?
Oh, funny. Hi, Trip. What's up? What's up?
Now, are you Trip or Trip?
Trip.
It was a joke.
Hey! Brian Keith is all elite.
So then why'd you give him the jobber entrance to start this?
Congratulations on getting your...
Fuck! Why did you just have... Tony, pay up, and especially if you're going to do that when you're announcing this man signed to your company, have him come out with, back then, ho didn't want me. Now I'm hot, hoes all on me. Back then, and you're going to do this, and you give him the jobber entrance. Why? I love it, but why?
And here comes Daniel Bryan. Who formatted this show?
AEW.
Who formatted this show? I agree with you. If you were going to do that announcement, you put Brian Keith in there against Angelico or fucking Evil Uno or whoever, and he wins the match. And then Tony rolls in and says, "Hey, Brian, good match, blah, blah, blah. I have a surprise for you. Look up there. I'm all elite."
I don't even mind that. Like, I thought everything else with that was great because it's a good, like, showing of him versus Eddie. I like that being a back and forth match going forward. But as Danielson's just now raising his arm up because Danielson's got to get himself over because fucking reasons. But I'm saying if we started off the show, Eddie, he was already in the you're not wrong. Out, have his whole entrance, have his pageantry, build it up, can make him feel like a star before you announce that he signed.
But as good as I think the Bounty Hunter is, I'll give him credit. Great guy, great wrestler. We've never seen him win. right? We just talked about this with Queen Aminata. Made a big
At
deal.
the car wash, yeah.
Like, can the new people win sometimes?
No, because that's what happens with your first month of signing with AEW. It's cool. I'm going to pay you all of this money, and it's all guaranteed, but you're going to lose your first 15 matches.
Right. But we are in a commercial break, folks. I will take a moment to say thank you for being here on a Saturday night. The numbers are crazy. Keep the chat coming. We do our best to click on about as many as we can. If you feel like we're ignoring you, you got super chat, super stickers, you got the membership as well. But be a friend, tell a friend, be a part of our growing channel. It is growing by the minute. And I will say, dude, like this whole situation with The Rock and Cody, even our content is getting extra love overnight. Like, it's crazy to see.
Respectfully, I love and appreciate everybody. But 100% for being a content creator, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
This is my favorite right here, though. Has Brian Keith ever? No, he has not to my knowledge. He is starting in the hole. His record is not good. He will not get a title shot anytime
That's
soon.
how you get into those rankings really well, is you start off with an offer.
Yeah, right. Being all elite is a punishment. Based on the name, that makes sense.
Danielson with a massive pop. No.
Right.
A pop, I'll give you that. A pop, not a massive pop.
It was a good pop, but he came out, completely ignored Eddie, held up Bounty Hunter's hand, and we went to commercial. So,
well, yeah, there's still the heat between them, but yeah.
Right. Who's getting fined?
Eddie, because he was too blown up to do the interview after the match.
Right.
Next collision, it should be Brian versus Brian, and they just do the Spider-Man meme and just point at each other.
Right. No, next week it will be Brian versus Mystico, or Brian versus, Suzuki again, or Brian. I mean, dream matches that we keep getting.
Whose dream?
Not mine.
Like, what fever dream is Tony doing here? Is he on MDMA? Is he out there just, on DMT? Is he just tripping balls and like, what I want is Bryan Danielson versus the Phantom. That's what we'll have.
No, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's very interesting. I still haven't even quite figured out how to say the gentleman's name properly, so we're good.
Horchata, Hendeco,
Horchicho. I'm running with Horchicho. I'm sure some of the C's are S's, but whatever. Should I watch night 1 of Mania or Collision 2 months from now? Tough decision. Yeah, record lows for Collision with the Rumble happening last week. So yeah.
And we're not even talking about attendance.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. But
yeah, no,
a lot of people.
I know you were talking about ratings. I was just saying, and the rating, the attendance is even lower.
I love this hashtag Team Rock. And again, I'm listen. I'm torn because of what I've witnessed today. But like I said, right before we went live, I had sent over a message to you of like, do they do like the Daniel Bryan? Like, do they find a way? Like, Cody, if you win at Chamber, you can fight. You're in a triple threat against Rock and Roman. Like, what do they do?
But that's really, I think this next week, because you still have some runway. So this next week is really your deciding thing. If you go out there on a SmackDown and it's boo, and we get, a team adrenaline in my soul and all of that. We get the adrenaline movement, the Cody movement instead of the yes movement. We get the whoa movement. Then you shoehorn that man in, and sorry about your damn luck. He becomes Daniel Bryan with Batista and Randy Orton.
Yeah, you got a point there. And I really think, based on our experience with doing this, that by the time we get to WrestleMania night 1, we'll get a bunch of good matches. They're already setting up like overshadowed here is we're going to get Bayley and EO. We still have to figure out what Rhea is doing. So night 1 is going to happen, and then Cody's beat Seth at the end of night 1, let's say. And everyone's cheering. People say it's a secondary title, as Roman pointed out very eloquently. By the time we get to night 2 and we get through all the stuff that they have for that, and that Rock Roman match starts, everyone who's bitter right now, I guarantee you have forgotten how mad they were and are just there for the moment.
Like I said, it's like how there was a bunch of NFL fans that were going to stop watching football, and then I'm sure we'll be tuning in, to the Super Bowl to see all of those Swifty cutaways and everything like that. It's the same energy. You're mad now, but when WrestleMania is happening, you're going to be cheering just like everybody else.
Right. I like this one. Brian picks his own, and the typo makes me want to go. He picks his own machachos. Clearly.
Machacho. Or his
KJ
own
and Nick.
Sorry.
Machachas. KJ and Nick, I wonder if Cody takes on Priest to get the briefcase and secures the #1 contender spot. But he already has it. Like, that would be redundant, I guess.
Well, he has it for Mania.
Roman. That's fair. Okay. I still think there's a chance that Priest cashes in on Cody just to ruin everybody's life.
What is this man? Horchata Lucha Boogeyman right now is coming out. And this isn't even the main event. The 2 matches that you've advertised this whole fucking show around are your first 2 matches.
What would be the main event? I assumed that this would be the main event. I mean, I put the 2 matches on the overlay for a reason.
Right. The first 2 matches instead of the last 2 matches.
What is happening?
Where's this man's eyes? I don't know where to look.
Now, I will ask you and everybody watching right now, a good solid amount of people hanging out with us, on a percentage scale, what is the percentage that they augment any of the plans that they have made now? Like, could they see the reaction, the 300,000 dislikes, and would they pull a Tony Khan and knee jerk to the social media community?
Like I said, what we get, the reaction on SmackDown is going to be very telling, because if it is going in that direction of they try and take over, they're not going to want that in a Philadelphia on a WrestleMania 40. You're not going to want the crowd to take over and hijack Roman versus Rock. So you will shoehorn whatever you think you need to shoehorn to appease who you need to appease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very intriguing because, like you saw with that clip from Triple H, WWE they got a plan. They're sticking to their plan. They'll tell their story they need to tell. They're not the company that's like, oh, people are mad about Evil Uno, we should remove him from the card. So I'm really curious if this is a big enough negative response. Like, do they say, you know what? The Rock pulled a hammy, he can't make it.
Well, no, like I said, the only comparable would be if it becomes Daniel Bryan around that 2014 WrestleMania 30, to where it was going to be Batista versus Randy Orton, and everybody got behind Daniel Bryan, and he forced his way into there. If that's what happens with Cody, if there becomes such a movement, not just on Twitter, not just on social media, like at the arenas, like when they hold a show, for that, then they will course correct. Then they will change course.
Well, do you remember the first time, like, Bryan finally won the belt, and then Orton comes out and cashes in, and 30 seconds later, they broke the heart of everybody in that building and sent them all home on a sour note, like, to tell a future story. And everyone at that time was like, they fucked Bryan, this is bullshit, da-da-da-da-da. And Bryan eventually got his moment. Is that akin to this in any way, shape, or form?
But if it was akin, I think 39 was that moment.
Fair enough.
So it was a similar moment, just not fully, and it was respectfully for even Cody, on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, I'm just really perplexed. Like, I'm really confused in the sense of, what if the plan is Roman to beat Hogan's record, Cody was losing at Mania anyway. Maybe it's best that he doesn't fight Roman yet.
I just didn't expect this many people that seem so bored and so fed up with Cody and everything now to all of a sudden give a shit.
Yeah,
Where did that come from?
There's a couple people out there, a couple bloggers in particular, that are publicly not Cody fans. They don't like his attitude. They don't like his neck tattoo. They don't like his promos. They don't like his suits, who are now like, we want Cody. We want
Right.
Cody.
It's
Like,
amazing how that changes.
Yeah, 300,000 dislikes. That's insane.
Yeah, I think there was only like 50,000 likes.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was like 73% last time I saw it, dislikes. They have
By the
wiggle
way,
room.
we do have Danielson
Speaking of wiggle,
versus Lucha Boogeyman.
Hichitoro.
Hikaru Shida.
What is the crowd chanting? Are they chanting "This is awesome"?
But
No, they're
this
chanting.
is all a dream match, though. But to who? Who? I want to know the person that this is a dream match to. No one has known of this man until right now in this moment.
I'm a big Lucha fan. I'm a big AAA fan. I'm a big, I'd say I'm a bigger AAA fan than CMLL. But again, even I'm like this invasion angle, like Tony consistently talks about having, we have so much talent and it's so hard to fit them on all of our TV. Yet we keep getting strangers walking through the front door. The house is full, but he's boarding more people by the day.
Seriously. Well, that's in Edinburgh, Texas. They're catering to the Hispanic culture, Nick. Well, you had Brian Keith on there where he comes out to goddamn Swisher House and everything. The man's the Swisher House champion, and you don't air that. You don't put that out there right before you're about to announce that he's signed with you. So, respectfully, fuck off with that comment because it doesn't hold weight now. You've proven, like Tony's proven, that that's inaccurate.
Right. And I like this question a lot from Pal. Welcome back, Pal. Welcome back, James and Dragon and
Propunzo, let down your chat.
Right. Is BD still a big deal? I think he's become like the indie super god. Like, listen to the crowd. The crowd that's there, all 1,900 of them are loving this.
Yeah, what's the attendance like here? Because they've lately been struggling to go 2,000.
But I think this is why. I think if you, again, this wasn't announced, but I mean, if you're trying to sell tickets to a show, I want to see Daniel Bryan fight top AEW talent, not top CMLL talent.
This feels like a house show that they turn the cameras on.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, think about it. If we're talking that, they're playing to the local Hispanic audience and everything, they're playing to the local audience with this of a guy that nobody knows. Respectfully, nobody knows. This is a dream match to maybe the local audience. This is placating to that. That's why you're still getting a minimal crowd, a minimal reaction. So now we're just watching it on national TV.
Oh, yeah. Reminder, we take predictions on all the matches. If you're new here, let us know who you're taking. Hazero? Is that what he said?
I don't know.
I'm trying to listen to Tony say his name, but now somebody just said WWE doesn't care, I think was the comment. Is it just they understand the reality of like they'll get over it? We've been around for 40 years, 50 years. No one's going anywhere. Is it that?
I don't know if it's exactly that. I think it's more of everyone's going to have that natural gut check instinct response, and especially you see 1, 2, 3 people react that way, so then 4, 5, 6 people react that way, and then that becomes 7, 8, 9, and it kind of spreads a little bit like that, like wildfire. I think like I said, you give this a week or so,
yeah,
and then we'll assess where we're really at with this.
Yeah, very interesting. But again, if nothing else, they've made Cody Rhodes the biggest undeniable babyface in all of wrestling. There is no second anymore. Like he I said it in our chat where you and I had a debate at one point where we weren't sure if, is LA Knight has LA Knight, has Jey Uso, has guys like that past Cody as more exciting baby faces. Cody Rhodes is the unanimous, undisputed baby face of all wrestling right now.
100%. He is Superman. He is Captain America. Not quite Homelander, but yeah, he is the baby face of baby faces.
Brian going for a ride.
I got commercial for Safe Class, so he's not going for a ride without a safe and unfractured windshield.
I didn't get commercial. I still got action.
Well, blame Canada. I don't know.
Dragon screw, kinda. On the
I
other
got
one,
Manners versus Davey Boy Smith going on as well. Manners is busted open.
Cody ain't getting a movement. Crowd wants Rock and Roman. So, I mean, there is a contingent. And what I saw, even on our channel, like a lot of the comments was, nobody wants this. Nobody cares. And I think people are, they're funny like that. But let's remind everybody, you and your small group of friends is not everybody. There is a good number of people out there that are perfectly happy with what happened.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, not to disparage you and your friends, because come watch us. But at the same time, yeah, you can be upset about this, but run from it, hide from it. I feel like at this point it's kind of inevitable. And this also makes Roman that much of a bigger fucking supervillain if he comes out and now I've conquered The Rock. And you think you're going to step to me?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to face me? And then when you get that, Iron Man goes over Thanos moment, it's 10 times fold a babyface reaction.
Yeah, I think now and even if you make us wait 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, when Cody pulls, no, the ironic part of all this, Nick, is Cody's going to eventually win that title, and when he does, people are going to go, meh.
Yeah. Predictable. I saw it coming. You know they were going to do it.
They should have done this in WrestleMania 39.
Moving on to somebody else.
LOL, Nick, that a bar.
We
are not the bar.
Behind me. I think I'm at a bar. I tend to drop bars from time to time, but I don't know.
Yeah. We don't. Oh, my Lord. I will say the crowd is going insane for this.
No. Are they really? Because I don't see anyone moving.
Well, it sounds voluminous.
It sounds amazing, but don't show the crowd too much. Because everyone's, so what are you going to get when we get out of here? Do you want the tacos? Do you want the nachos? Do you want,
What's up, Kevin? How you doing? It's not that WWE doesn't care, but the threat of AEW is no longer there.
Yep.
I agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, I think when we're hearing stories of WWE wants to get their hands on a Jay White or a Will Ospreay or an Okada, or they're working more with TNA, I think those are all byproducts of AEW's existence.
A bit like, well, AEW must exist. It is no longer, I think, the threat that it thought it was or thinks it is. Here is, I like how everyone's pointing out of he's wearing a waist trainer, but like I said last night, man's went flying. But AEW feels more on the par now with, especially TNA, but Wrestling Revolver, House of Glory. If you're not going to give us much of a story, much of us for a reason to give a fuck outside of, these are some really cool matches to watch, then you're right on par with the independent shows that we watch, the GCWs, all of that. And Impact starting to leapfrog you very much because they have stories. They have a close-knit crop of talent versus not only do they have 100+ wrestlers, but we're going to bring in wrestlers from that company and that company and that company.
Mm-hmm. I think again, it's proven. Not only has WWE improved it in one direction, I think AEW has proved it in the other direction, that the stories 100% matter. For the people out there that say, that's entertainment bullshit, I think they're missing the plot. The stories are so paramount to what happens. Even a night like last night, the wrestling was minimal.
Facts. We had 3 matches? We had 3, an advertised 4th that didn't really happen. And that was really only the probably drawback of the whole night. Outside of that, everything was fantastic.
Oh, we're taking turns stretching each other here. Pause.
Was.
AEW roster is massive. I think that's why I bellyache a little bit about like all the outside people, like the AAA talent, the New Japan talent, CM, Double L, ACP. I think that's why I get mad about like use the talent you got. Use your talent.
But he doesn't know how to do it. Like AEW's roster just needs a massive purge. Christ, at this moment, I'm waiting for a fucking accidental check to show up in my mail from Tony Khan here. With how many people this guy just signs, and just we don't know if they're actually signed or if he's just paying them. As now we're getting the yes kicks from this guy. Literally looks like the generic like creator wrestler that you have to fight like at the start of your career mode in any wrestling game. Like once you make that trip down to Mexico, that's the guy you got to face to become world lucha libre champion or something. What the fuck was that? He went for did Cesaro swing, but he held him tightly. Swing your partner around and round, backbreaker.
But the crowd is lit, Nick. I'm sorry, but this small crowd is losing their mind for this.
So, judge not with your ears, but judge with your eyes. Do you just hear them being loud, or do you see them getting loud?
I know we always accuse one company of piping a lot, but I feel like we're hitting the pipe hard here.
Pause.
That's so funny.
I'll give you. We're getting we're only showing two sides of the arena, but we're getting a good yes chant.
There's parts of this match that look like two people trying to shag in the back of seat of a car.
I've got Jacob Fatu on MLW, by the way.
By the way, that's what The Rock needs to do. The Rock needs to go get Jacob and Lance and how do we combat the bloodline and Jimmy and Solo? Go get your own Samoans.
I'll get my own Samoans with Blackjack and Hooker.
By the way, Danielson picks up a roll-up win.
No, Nick, this is the Executioner from WCW NWO Revenge.
100%.
That's a great game, though, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like Bane from the 90s Batman.
No, it's the Executioner from fucking Shrek. In the background, like
number 3, my lord. She's number 3.
The Muffin Man.
No, he very much looks like Bane with Poison Ivy Bomb. I hated that. As a fan of Bane, as a character, I hated that.
Yeah, for sure. The Tim Burton version was not fun.
No. But do you really think The Rock brings in Lance Inowahi, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, or does he bring them in and they just turn?
Well, that could be the other part.
Thought you had them on your side? On your side? I'm the tribal chief now.
Well, if you're going to run this storyline, you better have more than just 3 or 4 promos between now and Mania, where they are in the ring and they talk about who's the head of the table. There has to be more meat to that bone.
But you're going to get The Rock now dropping hints and, cutting promos towards WrestleMania on like CNN, on ESPN, on ET, on whatever fucking news broadcast is interviewing him. Mm-hmm. He's now going to drop those little hints, those little tidbits, those little sound bites towards WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. But do you not feel like there has to be more interaction between these two? You have to combat. Yeah. They have to combat all the negative press in a sense of we got to go out there and give them a reason to want to see this. Like you got that press conference on Thursday, y'all two getting a fist fight.
I don't even know about that. I think it could be one of the. Do you have it to where they have to come in separate? But that's the thing is you're going to have like Roman's going to show up on like Jimmy Fallon and have to talk about The Rock, and we're going to sell WrestleMania. I understand that they have to have a good amount of interactions between the two, or at least in ring wise. You have to show that they're going to be there because that's been the biggest drawback is it's part-timer. Mm-hmm. So you have to show that they're going to be there. But I like that we're going to get the little quips, little snippets on late night talk show hosts on, an SNL or anything like that is going to reference pro wrestling.
Mhm.
And for everybody that's mad about this, I don't recall, ESPN reporting about Cody versus Roman for Mania.
Mhm.
They're reporting Rock versus Roman. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's going to draw headlines. That's what's going to get your lapsed fan to come back.
Yeah, and I just realized, I think someone said it in the chat, but we're getting backstage interview right now. This is our main event. FTR and Daniel Garcia, which is one of the top ranked trios teams in the company. And they're taking on the Patriarch.
Why?
Very good. Very good question.
I was like, I had Hook coming out. I was like, is Hook involved in this somehow? Are we already getting the main event now?
Right. Tamatonga. Yeah, I mean, you make this Samoan Civil War. Make it chaos. Just like Samoans coming out of the rafters, like everywhere. Like, let's go.
An infestation of NOI? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go.
As Hook getting a 1-on-2 squash match. Yeah, he's taking on the Outrunners. So we're literally getting Hook 1v2. There's no way Hook should technically win this, but he will.
He's about to scrap 2 grown-ass men.
And a solid tag team with the Outrunners.
And yeah, and the Outrunners, again, we see them on AEW, but we don't.
Well, they're a little bit more of a NWA / Ring of Honor product here, but Wesley, what up? Doesn't work for me, brother. The Rock on Cody versus Roman.
Yeah. There you go.
Dildo Treve, 120-pound Hook isn't believable as a badass.
He's like the kid with a bad attitude, where you're like, dude, get off my car. Like, he leaning on you like, dude, get off my car. What? You're like, dude, move. Seriously.
Was it?
Bro, I smack the shit out of you, kid.
He's the petulant teenage child of just fuck, man. Fuck.
Whatever, bro.
Whatever.
Oh, what's up, Richard? Good to see ya. I see Matt's tube of you. Pause. That seems weird to say.
Right. Well, the youngest men alive, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Yes,
Yeah.
the runners.
Stay tuned. I might have something on my sleeve with these 2 guys.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Stay tuned.
Nick Nacho Libre must exist. They do exist.
Nacho!
Like seeing the M&Ms. They do exist.
Nacho!
Nacho!
I think this is a ridiculous booking.
JV, on me. But I'm not going to click on it again.
Like problem child. There you go.
He's getting, he's Kevin from Home Alone, all grown up.
As, he gets double teamed. Hook is definitely one of the high school movie characters who thinks they're cool, too cool for, yeah.
He's Emilio Estevez in The Breakfast Club.
No, he's fucking Judd Nelson.
No, oh yeah, don't you?
They're great. Smoke up.
Yeah, fitting. I think as instant tap. That's an instant tap. He's already been tapping. Can call the match, you idiot. And so Hook picks up the win. Literally just locks in the Kata Hajime after you just yeet your partner out and then Kata Hajime.
No sells a double suplex leading to it. Like, listen, in all due respect, guys, come on. I know we're full of AEW love here, but come on, what are we doing with this booking?
Yeah, respectfully, like, this man looks like your local senior class, and he's out here just whooping 2 grown men asses. Pause.
And the Outrunners are officially done with wrestling.
Or at least with AEW.
Holy fuck. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. As in brighter news, I have Jacob Fatu versus Nagata. He's recovered from his time on AEW, and now he's taking on Jacob Fatu.
There you go. There you go.
Lady B, the hookers are happy.
It's important. Hard out here for a pimp.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
See what we did there, folks?
Right.
That match was ass. Just ass. I'm definitely not liking the direction of AEW. You can feel the product declining every week.
You take this. You said they're 0 for 4, so this is your moment to shine here, sunshine.
Look, I mean, I've put it out to the people, and some people think I'm crazy, but I feel like, at least as far as Dynamite goes, and I mean, I would include Collision, I guess, but Dynamite's 0 for 4 in 2024, in my humble opinion. They've yet to have a great Dynamite. 1 or 2 of the 4 might have been okay, not bad, but there's at least 2 of them that were complete garbage. I think that AEW is struggling with their weekly shows. I think they struggled on Dynamite. We're seeing Collision tonight. Yeah, okay, the Lucha match with Danielson's fun, but it means nothing for your company. It has no longevity. One company we're getting mad at because the story is too long. The other company has no fucking story at all. It's a pop-up book. And really, like, Edge versus Suzuki because Edge wanted it doesn't help business. The Young Bucks coming back and doing what they're doing is not helping business. These matches suck, and they're not leading anywhere, and the good stuff is minimalized. The good talent is minimalized. You have Meltzer coming out, literally saying that guys like Malachi Black and Buddy Murphy don't want to do jobs, and Buddy Murphy has to point out online that, I've done plenty of jobs. I'm 0-1, 0-2, and 0-3.
I'm literally over.
I'm over and everything. So doing a job's not an issue. Will Washington came out and was like, "Oh no, that's not true at all, Mr. Meltzer. Meltzer's ridiculous. Meltzer's worse than the fucking weatherman. If Meltzer was a racehorse, we'd be making glue sticks out of the motherfucker. Like, he is awful at what he does, but AEW is struggling. And I'm not saying that because I hate AEW. I'm saying that because I've watched every fucking minute of it, and I don't understand what they're putting in front of me right now.
AEW has not evolved in 3. Like, I fully agree with you. I'm just now, there's so many comments that agree
it's
that I just
evolving.
It's not evolving. Like, Outrunners for NXT confirmed. Then people were walking out of Rampage tapings, trash booking. As Mark Briscoe's coming out, Corey saying that match was rated sky blue, straight ass.
Well played. But like I said, I mean, we know of podcasters that will tell you that AEW is the best thing in wrestling. They're the best product out there, and they don't watch religion. They don't watch Rampage.
They don't have a religion. AEW is their religion.
My religion. They don't watch Collision or Rampage. See, religion and Collision. Yeah, we got that. But that's my issue is they don't even care. Like, WWE is being put under a microscope by a lot of the fan base on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, pay-per-view days, but we watch Wednesdays and ignore the other shit. Like, no, that doesn't count. Well, no, it does. Here we are trying to pay attention.
Wednesday is supposed to be your flagship, and your flagship is fucking sinking here. You're fucking, the head of your fleet is going down, and you're trying to act like you're not taking on water here. That's really the issue here.
And
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I get mad. Like, I see a promo. Like, they did the interview segment between Big Bill and Ricky Starks and Sting and Darby, and it's good. It's really good. Big Bill's been super impressive to me. Like, that man is.
I can't wait till he's back in WWE as W. Morrissey.
Oh no, I can't wait either. Ricky Starks, his bags are sitting at the door. Like, we've.
My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. Well, he's sitting there and saying that for everybody that's Punk's the cancer, and we've got the young cucks out there dressing like fucking Samuel L. Jackson in the early 2000s with Kangol saying how they, got rid of leaning on cancerous superstars, and now that they're focused on the talent and everything. Ricky Starks has come out and said, there's nobody backstage that I can talk to for advice. There's nobody that wants to give me feedback. There's nobody that I can actually talk to backstage. I can maybe talk to Danielson once in a while. You know, you have Hangman, to quote CM Punk, the empty-headed dumb fuck that doesn't want to take advice from anybody. It's because there's literally no one trying to give or take advice back there.
Well, yeah, and I think my point there is like I'm really excited about Sting and Darby versus Big Bill and Ricky. But then I know that this is just a precursor to a match with the Young Bucks that I don't give a fuck about. Same thing with I'm really excited. Swerve is on fire. Dude, you sent me over that video of Swerve at an indie show and the whole place is just bopping. Like
Right.
Swerve has hit money there. He's doing shit with was it the Dallas cheerleaders he did it with, or no,
Jacksonville?
Yeah,
well, they even had Swerve's house. Like, that's the thing. Swerve's even now got a banger. He's transcended to the point where you can throw that on in garments, top rope, big pressure, apply. All of that. Yeah.
Right. So I want to see Swerve chase that belt. I want to see Swerve get that belt. And instead of just getting Swerve running after Joe and Joe being a badass, I've spent more time watching him fight with Adam Page, who he already beat twice. We've already had the drinking of the blood, like the evolution. Like it's like we're dragging along the dead weight of the OG AEW, and it's like a sports team where you're putting your starting quarterback on the bench to play your second string because your second string's your buddy, and the first string's making him look bad.
Yeah, it's very much like there's a reason Jimmy Garoppolo was the starting quarterback for quite a while, especially under Josh McDaniels.
Right. So that's where, and you see it all the time, that type of nepotism, that type of favoritism. And Jericho's a perfect example. I'm watching Jericho versus Commander, Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher. Holy fucking shit. Like, come on now.
Hey, at least we didn't have to see him like Scott did, where he's out there dressed like Ronald McDonald singing David Bowie.
Oh, that was such
nuggets in my mind. I become man.
McDouble in my mind.
Happy meal.
I want to know how many people he paid to get him into that fucking suit.
How much fucking lore and lubricant was used to get that shit to slide in there. Speaking of the House of Black.
Oh yeah.
As Max Kruger back in MLW, by the way, he shows up and the Goon Squad attacks Jacob Fatu, almost kind of writing him out of MLW because now he's officially a free agent.
Yeah, he's outie. Like a belly button.
Well, and I think Buddy Murphy and Malachi Black, like you were kind of talking about, will be outie once their contract's done with AEW.
Well, the funniest thing. Sorry, Nick. The funniest thing.
No, I was just saying how they're tying it into the whole Mark Briscoe segment here.
Yeah, poor Mark Briscoe. Here's another guy that all I want to do is cheer for Mark Briscoe. I want Mark Briscoe to like get a title run. He could be your yes movement of AEW, where everyone's just so badly wants this guy to win, and they keep fucking him over, and he keeps coming back, and he's the underdog, and finally he gets his moment to honor his brother and his family, and instead, nothing.
Imagine if we had the outrage that we have for Cody, like we had for Eddie Kingston or Mark Briscoe, or the multiple opportunities that AEW has had to have someone in that same opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how that works out.
Yeah, no, it blows my mind, dude. And again, we say what we're saying because, and I mean, it was like last night, Boston pointing out of like, being critical of the Rock choice. And you have a right as a fan to be unhappy with the booking choice. I only want to put to bed the bullshit rumors around it of like, this is a big conspiracy theory. They signed Cody. Triple H never forgot about the throne being, broke.
Yeah, that was some politicking that, we've got golden shovels getting brought out here.
Right. But at the end of the day, I just want to see the company be better. I want to go back to the days where Wednesdays were just cooking. Speaking of cooking, Serena Deeb. Deeb's Dojo in the house.
I've got an Adam Copeland video package. So
okay, so I got ahead of you, but I'm gonna.
That's fine. I've got Sami Callihan coming out right now on MLW as Chris Ortiz saying, "Do you expect Okada in NXT Vengeance Day tomorrow?"
I'd be shocked, but I kind of said he might.
No.
I kind of said it could happen. I don't know. I think I think Tony's got more money. And if your agent is Barry Bloom, which I believe Okada's working with Barry, they're going to take more money wherever they can get it.
See, Sasha, I believe that with. We've talked about this, and I'll go on record of saying I am not a Sasha Banks fan.
Right.
Never have been, probably never will be, personally. But everything when it comes to her of where she goes as far as pro wrestling next is based on dollar, dollar, dollar. I think Okada, rhyme intended, wants to be on that WrestleMania stage. Like, so what? Okay, Cody, you won't take on Roman, but you'll take on Okada at WrestleMania 40. How is everybody reacting to that right now? Then?
Yeah, I'd love it. That would be like, I'd be happy with Shinsuke versus Okada randomly, like a Mania, as a super match, as a dream match.
You can't get Cody, but we've got Okada. I think everybody will be starting to, change their tune pretty fast.
I swerve when I drive, and RVD was looking high, Nick.
Yes, but I'll give him credit for being he's in his 50s or so now. And did you?
Oh, he was great. He was great.
Yeah, I think he can still kind of halfway go. I know allegedly Mick Foley wants to trim down and have one more match. Just no. Sabu still wants to have a last match. No, don't do that. But RVD still looked like he could, given the gimmick, the circumstances, etc. He could still kind of maybe have a mini run.
RVD looked good, and the match with RVD and Swerve was entertaining. I really enjoyed it. If you watch the match in a microcosm of just the match, you're good. My issue was it made no sense. It really didn't. And then the baby face technically and Paige like kind of doing the screwy thing of like adding a stipulation last minute. None of it made sense around the match, but the match was really fun. What a fun
what's
match.
Great is when Twitter has to make sense of matches for AEW, because I saw someone use, Hangman said he was going to steal Prince Nana's weed, and he used that to pay RVD to face Swerve. So that's what set up the match.
Right? It's even like they announced the match, like Ricky Starks and Big Bill are going to take on Sting and Darby, which we talked about. But out of nowhere, now it's a tornado tag, which in AEW definition, that's falls count, and it's just chaos. Like
that's just a tag match.
Yeah, like I mean, again, we don't need a hardcore match every week. I'd like some straight up matches.
Well, you better pay whatever. What is it? $9.99 for Ring of Honor Club to watch a bunch of people that have not been pushed anywhere have some straight up matches that don't mean anything, and the matches are made up.
I shall return.
Well, fair enough. As I've got Serena Deeb taking on Queen Amanada right now, so I think we can very easily predict that Serena Deeb's going to win this match, because Amanada very much. I like that she signed. I'm a huge fan of hers, much like Brian Keith. I think it's fantastic that they've signed, and I like that they're getting a push. But it's what happens with every new AEW signing is you get pushed for a little bit in the sense of you show up on every show, but you take all of the L's. Jobson taking Queen here. Queen Amanada is fought. Yeah, absolutely. Queen Wagon, 100%. Trust me. Go and check out some of the stuff on social media, because she's good friends with Sky Blue. So seeing those two, that's a wagon off if I've ever seen one here. Paper cut. Oh, so we're getting the paper cut spot. It's always interesting with spots with that. Well, sorry, because I do also have Akira versus, why am I blanking on his goddamn name right now? Of all the people right now. On Sammy Callan, Christ almighty, I feel like a terrible wrestling fan, or just the vitamins are good. I'm blanking on his name, but you always get those little spots that, like the joint manipulation, I think we talked about on Friday, of you kind of know what that in real life feels like. So when you see somebody do that, you're like, ow, 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 ow. But let me know, folks, who you're taking, whether you're taking Queen Amanada or Serena Deeb, as I'm in picture of that, as I've got Sami Callihan with a barbed wire baseball bat on Akira. Did he just spit in the man's face? What happened here? And the paper cut, new move in wrestling. Nick, you know what's my gripe? They could have used Page versus Swerve, used the Page and Swerve segment to have Page select Brian Cage versus Swerve to plant the seeds into Swerve turning face. Now, I see where you're going there, and I'll pose this question to everybody. As like I said, I'm in picture-in-picture right now on Collision, and if you haven't done so already, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. But do we need to take Swerve away from the Mogul Embassy to turn him face? Because I think still, if we, whatever you do with Swerve, Prince Nana has to go along. And I think this has really honestly helped out Toa Leona. I know a lot of people really kind of were surprised with his performance on Dynamite. So could you still have Swerve with them? And he just kind of I don't even think AEW has clear defined baby faces or heels, but he just kind of starts getting his push and his run, and just they go with it as they go with it. If they start to get behind, the rest of Mogul Embassy, then so be it. I'm not opposed to people getting behind Brian Cage, the Swolverine, or Toa Leona or anything like that, but I don't know if we really need to split them apart just to make Swerve a babyface. I think you can do that on its own. Nick, you were the Smarting Out Facebook group, right? That's hilarious. Yes, that's an OG memory. Yes, I was actually. We can. I know John just messaged me about that. We can talk about that. Bash, what up? MDB, Serena Deeb, Straight Edge Society. Yes, Casey, what up? Man's hard at work taking Deeb. No pun intended. I don't know what she said that. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think they did that. Again, this is everybody's guttural reaction, this visceral, viral reaction. I still say game of the week. And if you can keep that same energy, then we'll talk about it. But I feel, much as with anything in social media nowadays, that you give it a couple of days and this will simmer down. This will not be as loud. This will not be as boisterous as it is now. Not saying that it isn't fantastic, because anything that gets the wrestling community talking this much and this involved and this impassioned and emboldened about it, I think is phenomenal. The Mogul Embassy is a bunch of dweebs besides Swerve. No respect for Prince Nana. I will not stand for Nana disrespect. No. As did Akira get missed it, as now I'm back from commercial break, as I've got Deeb and Aminata going at it. Irish whip from Aminata. Deeb still looks like she could go 100. Give me like Deeb and Marina Shafir as a group, a team, a fat Christ, just getting send them to WWE. Give me Deeb, Shafir, Shayna, and Zoe Starks, and tell me that isn't what you wanted of your women's four horsewomen with Jessamine Duke, Marina, Ronda, and Shayna. I think that would be phenomenal. I remember after Bray Wyatt passed away, there was about a 12-hour period where wrestling Twitter wasn't a terrible place. Yeah, that was a good time. And unfortunately, I hate that the fact that it comes to situations like that for people to actually get along to go along, versus actually having respectable discussions. As drop down neck breaker from Deeb on Aminata on the middle rope here. Philly crowds are rough. Yeah, well, be returning to the scene of the crime, like I said, to where you had The Rock raising Roman's hand after he won the Rumble, coming in number 30, and everybody's booing, and Rock's just looking confused here. So be interesting if they run the risk, or if we get to a point to where we think that it could get to where the crowd hijacks the WrestleMania main event, especially at WrestleMania 40. That's not a good look, especially if you're WWE and you just sold to TKO. Oh, it's not a good look. Two out for Aminata.
Aminata.
Aminata. Humana, humana, humana. Humana, humana, humana.
Humana.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Oh, side note, I just wanted to bring this up completely off topic, but
I like off
I
topic.
was grocery shopping with the missus earlier today and everything, and I saw a man in my grocery store that had a Canadian tuxedo on, had, the good old long gray, tuffy beard and everything like that, and had one of them fucking Davy Crockett
Shut the front door.
hats on, but it was a raccoon, or in your neck of the woods,
Yeah.
a raccoon. So
Uh-huh.
it's like I almost wanted to snag a picture and be like, KJ, is this the most Canadian human being you've ever seen?
It might have been actually. Jeez, I've never personally really rocked a Canadian tuxedo, but
Have you ever seen them though out in the public
oh
here? Is
yeah,
that like
all the time.
okay?
Now the hat thing throws me for a loop. That I don't understand why that's happening.
Yeah,
Like
it's man straight up Davy Crockett.
going committed.
Meanwhile, looking like Mr. Dress Up a little bit. And I like that puppy because I think you and I are the only ones that remember Mr. Dress Up.
I've been to Mr. Dressup's treehouse.
What?
Sorry, I got pictures with me.
How many tabs was
it? I signed an NDA, but other than that,
did you have a cruise?
oh, funny.
Jesus, as we got fully derailed there. Sorry, mea culpa. My apologies. That's my own inside laugh.
Did Deeb win?
Not yet. Well, now she just did.
All right,
with a single leg crab.
Nobody wants crab.
Yeah, but do you not? I mentioned this right before you came back from a pause here. I want like Deeb paired up with Shafir. I want something like that.
Like the female BCC?
Well, not even, I mean, Christ, just if you could move them to WWE, you could have Deeb, Shafir, Shayna, and Zoe. And I think that's what everybody wanted with the MMA women's 4 horsewomen, just, minus just the Duke and Ronda and all that.
You already got the win?
I just got the single leg. Now I'm getting an advertisement for Dynamite.
Okay.
As I've still got Akira and Sami Callihan. I felt like a bad wrestling fan because I forgot Sami Callihan's name for a moment.
That happened.
Yeah.
Isn't it very interesting? Like Sami Callihan was very public about being a free agent and nobody has touched him.
I'm amazed he is not all elite. That's a big forgotten. That's a great point that no one's really talked about. Everyone's waiting for Okada and Mercedes. Everybody was anticipating on where Sami could go. And instead of going to even TNA, AEW, WWE, he went nowhere. Like it's like being in the green room and you're waiting to get your name called on the draft and the phone don't ring.
The phone don't ring. Rashad saying that this match of Roman and The Rock is going to make WWE a lot of money. Great business decision. Yeah.
It's going to feed millions and millions of families.
Right. I've seen Sami Callihan match. I didn't watch Impact for a long time. There you go.
Don't let Anthony hear you say that.
I don't know. Bashay won last week on Collision and Rampage. Who did? Deeb or Emanata?
She didn't win on Collision or Rampage. Fuck is you talking about?
We were here.
We were here. Yeah, she has. Pretty sure she's a no for an AEW as well.
Right. Now, I will say this to the chat out there. Quick question. What is Tony Khan's announcement on Wednesday? Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I will give you that. I didn't see all of it, though.
I will give my prediction before I take a pause here, sir.
Okay.
My prediction, what I've heard, is that it's it's at least that they're going to have a Dynamite, I want to say March 13th in Boston or around that date. And if it's not paired with the Mercedes announcement, that they'll announce Mercedes at that show.
There you go. Nick's taking a pause for the cause. We're getting Swerve coming out to talk with Tony, and we are rolling along, folks. But thank you for being here. I will remind everybody, if you're having fun tonight, come back tomorrow. We got NXT Vengeance Day. I'm looking forward to this card. It's got a lot of intrigue, obviously, with Trick and Carmelo, Ilya defending his title, Roxy taking on Bird Lady in Lyra Valkyria, whatever. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good pay-per-view. We will be here live for it. Of course, Monday's got a lot to talk about on Monday, and we're here all week long. We will be live on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next weekend, we have your Super Bowl watch-along. That is also going to be a fun night full of, just hanging out, chatting. We're going to talk a little football, have a good time, see how that goes. But, yeah, we got so much coming your way. We're heading towards Revolution. We're heading towards Mania. We got GCW shows coming up. We got House of Glory, Wrestling Revolver. We truly watch more live wrestling than any other channel out there. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for joining us as I got Swerve and Nana. Dun, dun, dun. A lot of people liking that match. I'm a huge fan of Serena Deeb, so I want more Serena Deeb, not just on Collision, not on Rampage. I want to see her on Dynamite, and I want to see, Deeb against top-level talent. I really want to see her get pushed. Vince is all elite. Yeah, maybe. A new show on Tuesdays. Let's go. Let's go. Tony's announcement is that he will have an announcement in 2 weeks' time. I predict that TK's big announcement is that they sold 100 more tickets to Wembley next year. Maybe. I think they announced the Owen Hart tournament. That's a very big possibility. I know the front runner is Mercedes, but could it be Owen Hart, the third edition of the Owen Hart tournament? Possibly. KJ and Nick. Now I'm going to ask you, could Paige not have chosen Cage versus Swerve to plant the seeds? Yeah. JV, we talked about this on Wednesday, that, you know what? Again, Swerve versus RVD, fun match. But RVD being chosen as the opponent didn't make a lot of sense. And I would have really liked Cage or, the other member of, Khan out of the Gates of Agony. I mean, that would have been cool. That would have been different. Or, I don't know, Paige doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, so that would be a tough one. But there were better options for story purposes. I like what we got as far as the overall main event was entertaining, and it was to me, it was the only good part of the show on Dynamite. Cody was pissed. Cody wasn't pissed. Cody was definitely subdued, though. He did look a little maligned. Julian, the only way this Rock and Roman decision makes more money is if they open the full stadium. You're not wrong. Listen, I know people are mad about it, but I said this last night about Cody and the whole situation. I think they looked at their options and thought, not only do we have one night, and keep in mind, folks, they have sold 57,000 tickets 2 nights in a row. 114,000 people are going to pack into Philadelphia and be a part of Mania. And this decision between The Rock and Roman isn't going to change that. Over 100,000 people are going to be in Philadelphia that weekend to take in the festivities. That will not change. People will not boycott. People are not giving their tickets back. It's not going to be the case. But if you're trying to look at 2 main events and keep both main events compelling, I think the Rock Roman decision was made because they couldn't really decide on who should fight Seth. And other than Gunther, their options were limited as far as a big ticket draw that was going to get their fans out of their seat. I really think that is the issue. I think the idea of Seth fighting Drew wouldn't have worked. Seth fighting who? Like who? Again, Gunther might have done it. Gunther, Seth could have been fun. But we don't know what the plans for Gunther is yet. What if it's Gunther versus Drew? What if it's Gunther? Originally, the idea, apparently, rumor had it that it was going to be Gunther versus Brock. That's not happening. So if you were trying to bring name value to your 40th anniversary of your biggest show, that's why this decision was made. It wasn't to fuck Cody. It wasn't spite Cody. Yeah, it might be unfortunate. Cody might be bummed. But Cody, to me, has given me the impression that he's a businessman, that he understands what is happening. And therefore, Cody gets it. And Cody knows he's still writing his story. Maybe part of his story is, do you remember that time I got fucked out of my shot at WrestleMania 40? Does that not make the ending of his story more compelling, more interesting, more worth watching and following? We've watched this babyface battle and battle and battle. And at every chance he got his WrestleMania 39 shot, gets screwed by Solo. Now he's supposed to fight at 40. The Rock steps in. He doesn't get that chance. It's more and more layers to the story that is Cody Rhodes. But I honestly think that's the problem is, all right, we go Cody, Rock, night 2 main event. And the people that suggest Roman doing double duty, like Roman, Cody, night 1, Rock, Roman, I think that's a jip. If I'm a paying fan, I don't want to see Roman twice. You got so much talent. Double booking Roman would have pissed me off. As we go to a Tony Storm segment. Dun, dun, dun. Rocky Johnson never won a world championship. That's true. That's true. Mr. Perfect never got a world title. Facts. One of the best to ever do it and never get a title. Razor Ramon never had a world title, guys. Scott Hall, if you will. Yeah, we're talking about everything, my friend. That's what we do here. We talk football, we talk food, we talk hockey, we talk AEW, we talk MLW, we talk it all. And that's where we're at. We kind of follow the chat. So thank you for being here and thank you for following along. Gunther versus Braun Breaker would bang. I'm down for this. If you did this, if Braun Breaker, who was indecisive about what show he was going to go to on Friday, if he shows up on Monday and goes after Gunther, let's go. I'm down for it. What's it going to look like when Braun Breaker jacks big old Gunther up on his shoulders? Swerve is great, guys. I have no issue with Swerve. I want Swerve pushed to the moon. My biggest frustration right now is that Adam Page is in the way of the Swerve storyline. I want a direct story. Just Swerve Joe, the man who wants his dreams to come true, the veteran bully that won't let him have it. That's what I want. All this side shit, because right now the more focus is on Page and Swerve getting to Joe, and we've already been there. Swerve beat him twice. I believe that Swerve is going to lose to Hangman Page next time they fight. I really do. I think Swerve is going to give back an L, and I hate the idea. Next week, Bret Hart tells the story to Cody. Do you see that? Did everyone see like the WrestleMania? Like they're comparing like the WrestleMania at Caesar's Palace when Hulk comes out and takes the spot. Yeah, poor guy. Roddy Piper, one of my favorites that ever did it, was never a world champion. Mostly because he didn't want to play ball, but that's a different story. But we got Red Velvet. Who's she fighting? Or Gunther versus Ludwig Kaiser. That'd be interesting, but I'm not ready for that yet. I don't think Imperium's done enough, and I think Imperium, the tag team, needs to be booked better. I think the WWE is not booking Imperium as the tag team of Imperium as well as they should be. They're an outstanding tag team. They did amazing work in NXT. I think they're doing a disservice. Again, it's this thing of like, the weak patsies to the big guy, which they could be equally good. I don't know why they can't win and still be the patsies for Gunther. No interference. Swerve about to lose. I really think Swerve is about to lose. Rick Rude, another guy. Piper did have the IC. Scott Hall had the IC. That's where the IC was the workhorse belt, where guys were happy with the. And remember, it was funny because recently Gunther pointed out that, you know, on the title it says Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, right? So it's people forget that was like, it wasn't necessarily a secondary title at once upon a time. It had its own prestige to it. Bailey is great. That Bailey segment last night was really good. Not quite sure where Dakota Kai was. I don't know if anyone's read about that, but I haven't seen any reports of why Dakota Kai wasn't there. But Bailey, the turn, we knew it was coming. I like to call her Batista now. I think that, you know, they ran back that old Triple H storyline really well. And Red Velvet with a win. And I'm not quite sure who she beat, but does it matter? So we are saying their current guys are not good enough. I don't know what that's referring to. I will need some context. 2 women's matches tonight. 2 women's matches. The Serena Deeb Aminata one was pretty good. This was more of a squash match. Not bad, not bad. I like Red Velvet. So this is good sign. Like, Tony needs to book the women's division better. So there you go. Some optimism, some points for that. There you go. Everybody likes a little bit of Red Velvet cake. How would you break up the tag titles on WWE? Yeah, I mean, we got to get to that at some point. I think it's an easy move, right? I mean, everything's a work. So it shouldn't be too hard to find out, you know, how do we angle this? What pieces do we move into place? And again, you can simply have, even if you had one of the GMs come out and say, listen, enough's enough. We want our own tag belts. You keep those ones. I don't care how we get there, but I think it's overdue. And I think the tag team division has steadily been building. So sooner than later, that needs to happen. Now, on Monday, we will get a tag match to decide who will fight the British Strong Style, who then will take on Judgment Day. We'll see. Vert Vixen. Imperium versus New Day was an exciting program. I really enjoy it, and I could care less about both teams. I like Imperium a lot. I'm a little over the New Day. What I do like about this, C-Money, is that it's given a little bit of a different vibe for New Day lately. They've had a little more of a chip on their shoulder, a little more of an attitude, opposed to just skipping around and being happy-go-lucky and being cartoony. The Imperium's kind of brought out an edgier side to New Day, but I also think it does set up to get Jay against Gunther. I know I've wanted and I've asked for, the battle of brotherly love between Jay and Jimmy, but we might get there for Mania, but main event Jey Uso could slide into that third spot in the absence of Big E and take on our buddy Gunther, which I'm all for. Jay versus Gunther works for me on every level. The IC title has that prestige to it. Again, it does. I mean, Gunther, I think, was the turning point for this. To be 100% honest, for a long time, it felt secondary. It felt like it didn't matter. I like what Gunther has done with this title. What a title run. Sets the record, beats the Honky Tonk Man, as he should. And, we're cooking now. This could be leading to a Big E return. I wonder that. I really do, MDB. I've wondered that for quite a while. Like, is this something they're going to do? Tag team ladder match. Different team gets each title. That's not a bad shout. Put 4 teams in, and first 2 teams to pull down a belt win. I could go for that. Mania. TK is building Nyla Rose versus Athena for the Ring of Honor. Why? Damian, why? Like, okay. Yay. Break it up by only defending one. Yeah.
Speaking of only defending one, and yeah.
Lawler actually did win a world championship, though wasn't WWE. Yeah, he definitely had titles. As here comes Christian.
I have Domino's. Oh, well, I've seen this comment now like 4 times while I was on pause. So, yes, Raven is back in MLW.
Quote the Raven nevermore, folks.
What about me? What about Raven?
Right?
Well, and it's fitting with, speaking of Raven, of the response to everybody with this whole Cody Rhodes response. What a mark.
Yeah. All right. Oh, look, Nick Wayne's mom's back.
She's got it going on.
Do you
Is
like
she wearing a turtleneck too?
Yes. Boo.
That's how you know she's had her, brain sucked out by the aliens there. She's got a turtleneck on.
That's how you know she's a heel. She got a turtleneck.
We're gonna just show up on like the next Wednesday, and we're both gonna just be wearing like turtlenecks or something.
The tricky part with turtlenecks and KJ is that the lack of neck.
You said it, not me.
Lack of neck. There's not really much space
under the beard. That's the thing. You don't know whether you've got a giraffe neck or no neck underneath there because you just see straight beard.
And here comes Dancing Boy Garcia.
I thought you were about to say Father of the Year. James saying, "Sup, KJ Nick? What if NWA Camille shows up tomorrow for Vengeance Day? Could happen.
Big possibility of this, Nick.
Absolutely. And it's a slept-on move. She's been talked about of being reached out to by NXT. They've already had discussions on a contract. So if she shows up, especially at the end of Lyra's match, it'll be interesting.
Right. Facts, man. It just is what it is.
You're Mike Wazowski?
Turtle. Who had smaller crowds? Collision or 205 Live? Collision.
Is it facts? I've been in a 205 Live crowd, so I will say Collision.
Right.
Nick is a dork. Thank you for the compliment.
I accept that.
Right. I'm surprised to learn that KJ has a neck at all. I'm going to be more surprised when if we ever do a live show, people know that you have a waist, like that there's a lower half. He does walk. They do exist.
I just float around like Professor X. What do you mean? No, I don't fuck with turtlenecks or necklaces, or I don't like shit around my neck. Get out of here.
Well, if you don't have a neck, that means no one can strangle you.
No, you can't. No. You need big old fucking
caught up in the beard.
Good luck.
Get lost in the nest.
You gotta just smoosh my chin into my fucking esophagus.
What the
fuck? Not to sound funny, but yeah, no kidding.
Not at all.
Is Mystico same wrestler as Sin Cara? Yes. Once upon a time.
He's healed from all his broken pinky fingers and hangnails and owies and boo-boos, so botches. He can actually wrestle now.
Got it stuck in my head now. Sabu is awesome. Sabu's a legend, but he's
also a psychopath,
but an absolute lunatic. Absolutely.
He literally, when he came out on the fucking stretcher with the Hannibal mask, that wasn't a gimmick. That was just Sabu. And we learned that.
You were trying to prevent him from biting people back.
Right. You're helping him from himself. Of this man, instead of I'd like to think this person and that person in his book, it was a Q record of just, hey, Q too.
Right. Collision died the night Tony Khan said he feared for his life. Have you seen it going around? One of my favorite things I saw today was it was like a picture montage of Cody Rhodes to American Pie. Oh man, it was beautiful, but it was so.
I have not seen this.
Oh my god! If I find it, I'll send.
The most I saw was people putting his face on Rikishi of "I did it for the Rock,"
That was
which killed me. I was like, as someone who's been out here multiple times of "I did it for the Rock,"
right.
And now you're going to have that with Cody of "I did it for the Rock."
Mm-hmm. I think what's going to be interesting is at some point they're going to do like the vlog, like the 24/7 of all this playing out of like the career of Cody, and we'll get to see what really happened.
The backstage, the main event of WrestleMania 40. Well, and especially with on paper, regardless of how you feel on the Cody storyline, if you're having The Rock taking on Roman Reigns, that's one of the biggest matches you can make. That's why I think I, plenty of other people like that match, because it's the biggest match you can make. So it'll be interesting, like you said, if they do a behind the scenes of how did we get here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was a fan of it at first, but personally, I think AEW's roster is too big. But here's the thing, Russian Skittle. Here's the issue. When Nick and I talked about this plenty of times, and we talked about it earlier tonight, they say the roster is too big, yet half your shows are filled with people not on your roster.
Absolutely. It's my roster's too big, so let me bring in this guest wrestler, this one-off appearance. Like, but wait, you're saying you're trying to fit people from your roster on, yet you fill those spots with people you don't even have a contract with.
Yeah. Am I the only one that bummed out by FTR being reduced to doing the Danny Garcia dance? Like, that makes me sad on so many levels.
Can we respectfully admit at this point that as far as not their in-ring work, because the FTR is still one of the greatest tag teams of all time, but as far as their booking, business acumen, whatever, how they view themselves in pro wrestling, they're more in the Mercedes Moné category than we like to admit that they are. You can't tell me they enjoy this shit.
Well, that's the thing that fucked me up was like, and Dax was doing his podcast and he was talking about like, we have to do what's best for our legacy and what blah, blah, blah. And since they re-signed, they've been booked into oblivion. And you can't tell me that this is best for their legacy. Like this, do they still feel like, I know people out there, they're the best tag team in the world. What big tag team shit have they done in months? The Bullet Club, that was it.
Yeah, it's literally getting harder and harder a little bit. And they're not even the best tag team on television at this point, I feel.
Not the way they're utilized. They might have that talent, but you got to bring it. You got to show me. I don't give a fuck what talent you have if you're sitting on the bench.
But that's what I'm saying, though. They might be in that Mercedes Moné category of cool. Well, does it just out and outright feel like if you're in AEW that you're in the minor leagues a little bit now?
To an extent, yeah. I know people won't want to hear that. I do have to address something. It's bugging me.
Go ahead.
MDB. I am not Big Ed. You can kiss my ass. My head is not in my chest. I do actually have a little bit of.
He grew the beard to cover it up.
I'm proportionate, but my head, if my shoulders were above my ears, we'll have a conversation. And he
doesn't have the slick back. He has no hair to even have the slick back.
Yeah, how dare you? No. Shout out Big Ed.
Name Slick Back.
Little weirdo.
Name Slick Back.
Next week again, Jericho versus what?
Versus Reality. That's a match I'd like to see.
Yeah, would you agree with me that we could really knock off the Jericho Callis rivalry? It's not going and it's not working, as he will take on Takeshita.
There's a lot of things, and I know you really went on about it before, and you've talked about it of how AEW's been they're batting an O for right now when it comes to shows, especially at least when it comes to Dynamite, which if Dynamite fails, the rest of it's bound to fail. They're really they're struggling and grasping at shit. I feel they're like we've talked about, there is no story. They've lost. Does anyone know or care anymore about even the Undisputed Kingdom? Are we that invested at this point now, even with Samoa and Joseph, as to where he's going with the title? I know we've got Hangman and Swerve. That's really it. There's no the end of the world pay-per-view for AEW really was just fuck it. We ran out of stories. Now we're on blank pages now.
Mhm. That's again, I think ultimately what like my big concern is I believe that there's a whole lot of talent that I want to see do really good things in this company, and they're not. Somebody just brought up Roosh and Preston Vance. Remember they were doing uh those cinematic
Yeah, it was Narcos.
videos?
They did Narcos.
Yeah. Where did it go? Where is it now? What happened?
Preston Vance is out here being a babyface. Sorry, this popped me. Fine, KG, you're more like Benzino.
Fuck. Benzino can get it too.
You can have that. That is exactly what I'm mad at.
Yeah, no, you can't. I love them too much for you to go that route with me.
FTR should go back to WWE or TNA at this point. Yeah,
They had a chance.
They fucked themselves. Pause.
And what bothered me was Dax did it on this moral high ground of like, we had to do like we're gonna do what's best for us. And
He's
no,
the
you
company
took the
guy
man.
now. He's always been the company guy. Sorry.
Well, and they use, and again, all that shit with Eric Bischoff proved it, because Bischoff was saying a lot of the shit that Dax, when Dax was in negotiation for a contract, and he was, taking pictures with the WWE contract, under the glass and stuff, and being all coy, he milked Tony for more money, and that's what he utilized. But Dax was critical of the booking. Dax was taking heat for being honest. And the minute they re-signed, whatever Tony's a genius. We love Tony. Dax really disappointed me.
Like I said, they seem to be a little more about the Monet than they really kind of let on. They try and convey that image of we're just about technical wrestling. We're out here like the goddamn Andersons here. We're the fucking brainbusters and all of that. And when it's really no, which is going to pay us more and is going to let us do our shit. Because like you said, I love FTR. I pray that they would come to their goddamn senses, because they're big fish in small ponds right now.
Yeah, but again, I think for Tony, when FTR left WWE, and we couldn't wait for them to come to AEW and finally show the world what a tag team they really were and recapture that magic they had in NXT. And when they first got there, they did. And then you saw those matches with the Briscoes, and they burned it down again and again and again. And now the Briscoes are no more, tragically. And FTR, to me, feel irrelevant. Now they're in a trio. They're a trios. And I see the comment about they could be, with Daniel Garcia, they could be like CMFTR. Daniel Garcia is a far way away from being Punk.
Well, absolutely. And even back to what you were saying think about it. The Briscoes were never signed to AEW when they were having those fantastic matches. So that's, again, FTR was having good matches, fantastic matches, historic matches with people who weren't signed to AEW, were outside of that company. They have not had a fantastic barn burner of a match with anyone that's actually been signed to AEW outside of, you had your great match, your one-offs with the Bullet Club Gold. You have your one-off, we were going back and forth for the longest time about them and the Bucks, of how the Bucks would never do the job to them. But no, Meltzer's never going to report that. Now is he?
Nope. Wow, we're up top though. And I mean, this match is decent, but I'm not overly invested in this. Like, why is Christian and Edge not talking to each other right now? And I don't mean like friends. Why are they not interacting as enemies? Why did that just fall by the wayside? It's been a month. We're in February, World's End, where Edge got screwed was the end of December. We're in February, and they haven't interacted at all.
I just love all of these comments now from Russian Skittle, who's been in here before as like the most diehard AEW fan. Real take notes. Plain and simple, it's just meaningless. We need magic that 2019 and late 2021 AEW had. I think that's ran its course. They've ran the fucking tread off those tires now. and they don't know how to change a fuck. They're pulled over on the side of the road and they don't know how to change a tire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've said it a million times, Nick. I started going on the internet to defend AEW. That was my purpose. Was how dare people badmouth this up and coming company? I love it so much. How dare y'all? And now every week I'm sitting here like, fuck it.
God damn it. Well, I mean, I've been out there and I like this again. AW kind of feeling like 1999 WCW.
At times, yeah, man. The matches have to matter. The stories have to matter. And the things that were good stories aren't paying off. Like you mentioned it. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom are meaningless. Absolutely meaningless right now. And all the people the two groups, sorry, Nick, but the two groups that were mad at them are in the ring. They had a scissor segment on Wednesday, and that's all it was. Everybody got in the ring, they scissored each other. Yo, scissor me, Dad. What?
Scissor me timbers.
But they all forgot that they got beat up by the Undisputed Kingdom and nobody's going after them. Where's those matches? Where's those payoffs?
Instead, we just have squash match, all of that. Like I was just about to say, people are more fascinated with what Wardlow's wearing to the ring in those segments of whether he's out there in sweats, just I don't even want to be here today, just looking like Hook's older brother, or if he's actually out there in his ring attire and everything. Yeah, there is nothing that carried over from World's End that I or AEW seems to give a shit about since then. And they're trying to use that as their restart point. But sorry, the save file didn't load. You're kind of restarting on an empty file here, and it's not looking good out the gate here.
Yeah,
name me a good story, name me a good segment, name me a great match, and what has anyone out there excited about AEW right now going forward? Outside of, hey, Sting's retiring.
But I'm not even excited about that anymore. Like, people are up in arms about The Rock and Roman. I'm still up in arms about Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks.
Where's that backlash, folks?
Where's that? Where's that 300,000 dislikes? Oh, they don't have that many people that give a fuck.
Sorry. A scissor segment is what KJ calls that shave his beard. You open the floodgates, sir.
Facts. I'll take it. Just on a quick side note, congratulations to Team Matthews for taking home the All-Star Finals here. And Bieber decides to coach a hockey game in a red, fluffy fur fucking jacket. A pink red.
I'm
red.
not surprised after you said the guy's name is Beaver.
Beaver, yeah, Justin Bieber. He's Canadian.
Oh,
no,
I never heard Bieber. I heard Beaver. So that's why I'm like, whoa, the Beaver decided to coach in a red fluffy jacket. I was like, and other headlines in Canada.
Right.
Now, I have Matthews in fantasy hockey. So do I get points because we won the All-Star game here?
You should, but you don't.
Fucker.
It's been a long ass week. Wait, I think
I know. Every week, every day I tune in and it's no games.
Walmart beating me by like 20 right now because I haven't had anybody play. I got enemies. I got a lot of enemies.
Manny,
me of my energy. What?
No, Manny's saying, Nick, did you see my comment? No.
Oh, Manny. Are you new here, Manny?
KJ, Nick, I thought Nick said it's about Monet and TK marching powder. Yeah. He's a fan of that. Do you want to build a snowman? Or actually, do you want to snort a snowman?
The booger sugar.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
This main event's been all right. I don't hate it.
Sure it has.
Fucking guy. Okay.
I mean, respectfully, how much have we watched of it?
I'm trying to keep an eye on it.
You're keeping an eye more on Matt Maynard. Speaking of Coke and Diet Coke.
This whole thing about Matt Maynard used to be in a tag team. His partner's in love, and he does commentary for Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia has his own fucking commentator.
Well, it's the JAS, just they didn't fully dissipate.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This is tell me more. Does she dress like a?
Did you see this? I don't know. Did you see the segment between like Paige and Renee and shit on Wednesday? And it was a shit show. Renee yelled at the talent.
I didn't see that one. The last I saw was when Ruby's out there of just choke me harder. To what's her name?
Yeah.
The J. Oh, sorry, MD saying the JS is just the S now.
Yeah, it's just S. It's just the society.
Yeah.
It's like the GAS. It's the Garcia Appreciation Society somehow. And it's one guy. It's Magic Daddy or whatever.
Yeah. Like a rhinestone cowboy.
TK thinks Garcia is the future. So they have that the escape the cage elimination match. Garcia gets the win. And they move on. House of Black's forgotten. We move on. Now we're fighting the Patriarch. And here's Garcia is shining more than anyone else in this match. Not FTR, not Dax, Garcia, because you saw Tony come out and tell everybody, I am going to push Danny more than anybody. As we got the punches in stereo.
And where Garcia would fit in perfectly? NXT. Because that's where he'd be at if he was in the other company.
Mm-hmm. I still say it. I mean, Danny and a bunch of them, like, you have an opportunity to create your own, turn Ring of Honor into an NXT and let it burn, let it cook with all the young talent you have, but they don't get it.
There's a lot of things they don't get, but I like this of gas over jazz.
There you go. The gas is the gas.
The JS is just ass.
Yeah, it's just the jerk off society now.
No, it always was. It always that one.
Yeah, in multiple ways. None of the stories in AEW make any sense anymore. I think they used to. There was stories that did make sense, and there was rhyme and reason. You think about MJF and Cody, even when Sean Spears got involved, and that made sense because there was history. They tried to build stories, and now they just abandon it, and they're like, we don't need stories. You just every week I'll post a ranking, and those people on the sheet will get to fight each other, and that's enough. It's not.
Can we though still just admit that, like, when we're talking about stories like that, that's now at this point 2 years removed from where AEW is currently. Like, we're not mentioning anything. Like, I'd laugh at this comment: a fun game. Name 2 active storylines in AEW.
And the thing is, there's AEW diehards out there that will legitimately say they've got all the stories. Like our friend, the dickhead, that Devil storyline, like the World's End storyline, was one of the best wrestling storylines we've had. It wasn't. We were tired of it. We were like, please tell us who the
do something, anything.
And then they revealed the Devil, and the story fucking fizzled because MJF's out, and they couldn't figure out what to do.
Yeah, every big payoff that you built up to at World's End has now just sizzled flat.
Mm-hmm. And here, guys, we don't want to just propose problems. There's solutions here. Like, you should have, Garcia's about to get the dub.
You should hire me and KJ. There's your solution.
There's a solution. But you have the Undisputed Era running around that show, running amok. You have them fucking up every babyface they can get their hands on. They go after the Acclaim. They go after the Bullet Club. And this way, when MJF comes back, they're cooking. So we need a hero. And that music hits 6, 7, 8 months from now. And when that music hits, everyone goes nuts. The hero's here to save us. Instead, nothing. They'll do nothing. And then MJF will come back to flatness.
It feels like we've literally just put that on the back burner until MJF's about to come back, versus we're going to still keep this moving. Like, if we're going to sell it MJF isn't going to be here, we're going to write him off. You got to treat this like when Austin got hit in WWE. And you wrote Austin off. And so now that's where you got your Triple H's that showed up. That's where you got your, all these kind of mid-cardy guys. I think that's where Kane really shined. You had a lot of these guys really shine when that's how Rikishi became a household name.
Yeah, right. But that's what bothers. It's the pop-up book version of storytelling And the same people that will tell you it's great will also tell you that Cody's story is going too long. Help me understand.
It's because they can't read the actual story. They have to read the pop-up version. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's too long because there's too many syllables, too many chapters,
too
many words.
Novel. I can't do this.
It's like how people can read, How Now Brown Cow versus, reading the, Lord of the Rings or something.
Right. I got a sharpshooter from Dax. I will admit, I can't remember where they are tonight. Maybe someone else. I think they were in Texas-ish.
Yeah, they were in something Texas.
Yeah. The crowd is lively. Even if it is a small crowd, it's a lively bunch.
But now, if you're TK, should you run, instead of running 10,000 seat venues, should you run 2, 3, max 5,000 seat venues? So when you have 2,000 attendance.
Wow. I think I'm slightly ahead of you, but
no, I know you are. I'm just going.
You'll see.
Yeah.
Another roll up. We've got a couple roll ups here tonight, but the hottest man in all, the guy getting pushed better than anybody in the company right now, picks up the W.
Just start doing this.
Because Tony got to do this. It's the same thing with the Sammy Guevara. I went to Sammy's wedding. We danced together. Tony came out on stage, and the minute Tony did this with Danny, push him to the moon, strap a rocket on his back.
Why can't Tony do this instead of this? Do this.
Best fucking thought. No way. Why not? Wait, you do this.
Instead of take this and just turn it that way, and then you're good.
Drive a little.
Right. Well, let's be honest. Has Tony Khan ever driven a car? Just on a side note, do you think Tony Khan, as a human being, with his
I don't know
upbringing, has ever driven an actual motor vehicle?
I don't know. There's several things I'm not sure about. Driven a car, been with a woman, there's several.
Been out of a basement?
It was a big fucking basement, though. Let's be real. I wouldn't have left either.
Most people's condos.
Yeah. But the patriarch takes an L. So FTR,
we're getting not a stare down between Copeland and Christian or anything. We're getting a stare down between Garcia, who's blowing kisses.
Oh, and
so we just, to hell with Edge. Congratulations, Copeland. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that you gave up, your moment that you had in Toronto, to where you would have retired in your hometown to come back, have a stroke off with your buddy, and then now you can wrestle Suzuki and Griff Garrison and all of that until the end of time. Lee Moriarty and Ring of Honor are calling your name.
Mm-hmm. And my favorite tag team in the business has been reduced to hip thrusting and taking cues from a kid.
The top tag team in pro wrestling are now side characters.
Yeah.
Or NPCs.
And I still don't get it. Like, are we going to get Edge and Christian 3 at
Revolution? Their unified taunt is my... I want to do like the Stitch thing to where he's like pulling down his eyeballs and everything. Just like, why?
And that's again, people think that's critical. Like, I mean, as fans, I think the tag team division for AEW right now is non-existent. And this is why, because you got FTR doing this shit when they should be leading a up-and-coming strong tag team division.
I'll just say the talent division for AEW is non-existent at this point. I understand we are being critical because we want it to be better. We're not trying to sit there and, I can't wait until they fucking fold. No, we have seen this be where it can be and have sat there and laid out the blueprints. Here's where you go. Point A, point B, and C, D, all of that. And then it can't even get to point A. And it just gets mind-numbing of like, how can you be this oblivious, this ignorant to what is actually going on, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I want more, and I see the talent that I want more from, and they're all happy.
Give me half of TK's budget and half of his roster, and I'll put him out of fucking business.
Yeah, I'd have absolutely. Let's fucking go. I mean, at the end of the day, man. I mean, it's the same thing where all these rumors about Sasha Banks, oh, they're going to sign Sasha, they're going to sign Sasha, but what does it mean long term? Will Ospreay's about to come in? What is your plan for Ospreay?
It's all of that. It's like it's the whole fucking meme to where you've got the one kid that's jumping into the pool, and that's Mercedes Moné, and then you've got Chris Statlander, you've got Abaddon, Willow, you've got all these women. Jamie Hayter's just fucking sunk at the bottom of the pool. It's just a skeleton at this point here. Because Christ, if you forget she's on the roster here, that's the thing is it's just new action figures versus making what you have work.
You got to make it. It's got to be more than just random matches. It really has to be more than random matches. And I don't want to see Suzuki. I don't want to see the Luchadors. I want to see AEW booked, signed talent be utilized and be made to feel like stars.
Absolutely. Just sorry, that kind of halfway made me try.
Right?
I'm a bad man.
I'm a bad man. I did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock. I did it. I did it for the death day.
As a human being, what else would he be? I don't know. Oh. This one's for you.
These broken wings until the end of time. Tupac. You can be hungry for chicken wings.
These broken wings.
First off, Gilbert. Thank you, Claire. You're going to talk about Tupac. That's all I can think of.
Welcome to TK's world. A lot of people shouldn't be on prime time television. They should be on the indies. Again, it's all about. It's again not necessarily like there's tier lists to it all, right? Like you can have mid to lower end talent that fill up that part of the card as long as you're building to the superstars. The problem is I just saw Daniel Garcia look like the best guy in the main event on the Saturday show, and I don't think he belongs there.
You know that well, you said it 100%. Of what that'd be great on is if you were doing that on Ring of Honor, and that's going towards your Ring of Honor world title. But oh wait, respectfully, even with Eddie Kingston now, your whole Ring of Honor world title is caught up in 4 other titles at this point.
Yeah, it's really weird that the Ring of Honor titles never end up on the Ring of Honor show.
It's amazing they just never even advertise Ring of Honor. Period.
Not really, no. They barely talk about it. Yeah. Again, you know what you get when you sign with AEW? You get more money than you would from the other company, and you get more days off. You get more time at home. And that's great for them. Like, if that's your choice, I can't knock anyone's hustle. But when you only have to work once every 3 months, or you see these wrestlers that are Miro made bank. Like, Miro gets paid more per minute, more per hour than just about anybody in North America.
I understand that, but that's still even going back to even like doing what we do. We're still young whippersnappers, trying to do an upstart and everything like that. I'd rather take more time doing what I feel is more of a payoff. I feel more having an actual creative response and being invested in everything than I work less dates, have nothing going on. Creative fucking sucks. I'll be lucky if I get booked, but I've got guaranteed money. This is this isn't even you're taking, money from WCW when like Eric Bischoff was initially signing the Outsiders and everything. You're signing on now in like the 2000s era of WCW to where the ship is already taking on water. And you're like, well, let me get this guaranteed paycheck versus no paycheck. I'd rather take the gamble, and Matt Cardona's a prime example. Nick Nemeth's a prime example.
Sorry to interrupt. On a weird side, Kojima just beat Alex.
What the fuck? What?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Breaking news. The most exciting thing on Saturday night. Kojima just beat Alex Kane.
Kojima is your new MLW champion.
That's holy shit.
Yeah, it's juxtaposition as I have Pineapple Express on the other screen as well. So I got Seth Rogen laughing, and I've got Kojima covered in confetti here.
What just happened?
Does
Is
that
for the
are we
MLW
starting to
title?
see the end of an era when it comes to MLW? We've seen Jacob Fatu leave. Obviously, Hammerstone has left. So maybe Alex Kane's the next one to leave, which
Alex Kane would hurt them, man. Like Alex Kane and the Nation walking out.
The Boomaye Nation. Great. Now we need to go reach out to Jay Bougie there. We reached out to him before. We need to get his insider opinion here.
Friend of the show, Mr. Jay Bougie.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll try and get Alex Kane on now that he's, he's freed up a little bit. Maybe he wants to talk about what happened there.
I'm blown away, dude. I couldn't believe it. I know you were making a point, but I like.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm like, motherfucker didn't kick out.
Holy shit. Yeah, Boomaye Nation might be done in MLW. You do the Boomaye Nation in NXT, you get Alex Kane and Obafemi. Shut up and take my money.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
When it happens in 2 weeks, you know where you heard it first.
Yeah, right. Contra returns, Mad Kruger, MLW.
Anytime I hear Contra, I can think of Coast Contra now, the hip hop group.
Really? Okay.
Oh, man. That or the fucking
the Nintendo game. The Nintendo game is my head instantly goes to Super Contra.
Well, by me, we have Fun Spot, which is like a super it's like a Dave and Buster's. That's like the world's largest arcade and everything. But they have you could actually sit in and play like Space Invaders. So that I don't think Contra, I think Space Invaders.
I see. What 3 wrestlers would you trade from AEW to WWE? Well, Ricky Starks is one.
But you gotta who you were trading back.
Oh shit! I gotta give someone up.
Yeah, this isn't a one-sided deal. This is you're trading them for conditional picks.
Future consideration, motherfucker.
All right, cash consideration.
Yeah, I don't know who's going the other way, but I want Ricky Starks out of AEW. I want to see him in WWE.
Okay.
Oh, they all got beers. This is hilarious.
Where? What?
Oh, I was so just watching Kojima. This is the longest outro ever.
Oh, I'm already back into copyright notice and everything. I don't know where you're at.
I'm sorry.
Wardlow to WWE, and I'll send Ivar, and you can take Valhalla.
You can take the whole 3 Vikings.
You can take the whole raid.
You know what? Technically, I mean, if Tony could book them half decent, the War Raiders returning to the Indies would be great for them. They've been buried by the WWE.
Yeah, so see, there you go. We got a fair trade. So you'd agree to that trade. So let's see, number 2.
Well, that's definitely pro WWE with that one. Do we get Big Will in the transaction?
In Hobbs? Well, then if you
Big Bill,
Eric. Oh, Big Bill? No, that'd be a set. Well, do you trade those as a tag team? Oh, maybe. So what's a tag team you trade for them if we're going to do that? That Tony would agree to. Ooh. No, that would probably be you're trading the Viking Raiders back. He'd probably agree to that.
Yeah, trade Pretty Deadly for Will and Starks.
I'm out here trying to think of who do you trade for MJF. Give me MJF. That's who I'm wanting to trade for. That's it. I'll trade a first round pick for that.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, we'd be trade Drew McIntyre for MJF. Let's go.
No, I'll trade you Omos and
greedy motherfucker. I tried to trade. Here we go again.
I'll include MVP.
Right.
And who else would I add in that? Who else could I put on that level? I'll trade in Braun Strowman for MJF. I'll give you 2 Titans. I'll give you your fucking super heavyweight division for MJF.
Right there. Give you all the cruiserweights that we don't use.
I'll give you Ronald Mysterious. I'll give you the whole LWO versus Legado feud.
I'll give you the whole feud. Yeah, very, very strange, says Jerry.
Oh, and then the Muzz said,
Oh,
he said that trade is awful.
yeah. You think his wrestling trades are bad? Try and trade fantasy football players.
It's even worse with hockey. I don't know what's what.
No, it's worse with football because you're like, how can I get it all?
I'm a swindler and a shyster here.
I'm not going to give you anything of value.
You give me everything and you get nothing.
Right. Who's your pick between Matt Cardona and Nick? This is a very interesting matchup. I think right now Dolph Ziggler is on fire.
Okay, so you taking Nick Nemeth?
Yeah.
I'll take Cardona.
Cardona? Clean? No,
not clean. I think I'm interested to see, especially because it's the GCW and all of that, of do we get think about this, and I said this to my wife who she watched when the Awesome Truth was an actual tag team instead of running it back. What if I told you there was going to be a deathmatch main event between Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah,
holy shit.
That's too funny. This makes me laugh. Up, down, left, left, right. Super Contra was one of the games that you needed a fucking cheat code because if you tried to play that game straight up, it was damn near impossible to finish.
Well,
it was so fucking hard.
Was it more requiring a cheat code versus like when you had the multiple versions of the original Mortal Kombat, where you had to have the blood code and everything like that?
Not like those ones. Yeah, no, those old Nintendo games, man, that you needed a cheat code sometimes because some of those games were made impossible. They're not like games nowadays that you just figure it out.
But see, this is why we're of a certain vintage and why we know how to interact with certain people and everything. You actually had to go on why we don't trust anybody, because you actually had to no, I'll put this into my fucking system. So when it fucks up and crashes my game, I'm going to come back and I'm going to kick your ass.
Facts. Like KJ, Jay-Z can't knock the hustle. Can I hit it in the morning?
Right.
For sure.
And I wish I never met her at all.
Omos for Hobbs. There you go. Then you make a tag.
We just stack Nana on top just to make the height even and everything on that trade.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are winding down here as the night comes to an end. I will remind everyone. I think someone asked what time. I believe we are going live at 7:30 tomorrow night, unless that changes. But that's the scheduled planned time right now. Is 7:30. Right. We have NXT Vengeance Day. We'll be back at it. I'm sure we'll have more Rock stuff to talk about. Somebody said in the chat that at a house show tonight, they showed video of The Rock and people booed. So very interesting time.
I was going to say, we only talked about it for an hour and a half tonight after talking about it for 3+ hours last night. So maybe we'll cut it down to an hour tomorrow night.
But yeah, no, yeah, we'll see how much we can do. But I think the wrestling itself will make us talk about the wrestling tomorrow. Lots of intrigue, lots of things going on. I'm looking forward to this matchup for sure. Or this card for sure. And for those who can't make it tomorrow, we're here all week long. We're going 7 days a week, a lot of weeks, 6 every other week. We don't stop. We watch more live wrestling than everyone else. And man, it's fun hanging out with y'all on a Saturday night.
Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated, and whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all authentic. When you talk about the rest, you're going to put that 4 live with it.
See you on the flip side. Come back tomorrow, folks. Good night.